Season's greetings, everyone. I'm John Casey and welcome to Sydney as the Phillips Championship embraces the festive season with a Velocity AllStar Game powered by Virgin Blue. Australia's 10 most aggressive basketballers are here to go up against the World All-Stars, which comprise players from the United States, Canada and a wildcard entry, Lu Wei from China, who will be well known to the potentially hundreds of millions of viewers who are taking this match through ESPN in Asia. And with the All-Star field, we've got an All-Star cast here as well. James Harvey, who played in the 2004 All-Star Game and would be here apart from injury. This is always an exciting time.
Oh, it's fantastic, Case. I mean, I'd love to be out there with the boys running around, hopefully trying to put on a show, but what better way to make my debut on Fox Sports than tonight at the All-Star Game with you next to me.
Mate, we're looking forward to it because there is already, we've seen the preliminary rounds of the dunk competition, which we are going to be bringing you live in just a few moments. But tell us about the match, James Harvey. We're going to see any defence or we're going to see a lot of jaw-jacking?
Oh, I think we're going to see plenty of jaw-jacking. I also think there'll be no defence whatsoever. There's some great offensive players on this team. You know, there's going to be some huge scorers tonight. Hopefully some big dunks as well. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course we have Brian Gorgian coaching the Australian team and Phil Smythe in charge of the World All-Stars. They don't get along, but they might even find some peace here around this time of year.
Yeah, they play two opposite styles of game. You know, Phil loves the offense and loves to play high tempo, and Brian's renowned for his teams playing defense, so he might be tearing any hair that he's got left out tonight.
Well, there are a couple of players who aren't playing tonight along with James Harvey because of injury, but what more can you say about Darryl McDonald at 41 years of age, leading the league in assists, second in steals, and he is an all-star player.
Oh, he's unbelievable. I know as a player myself and a shooter, I'd love to be playing alongside him. You know, he's had a fantastic year, and at the age of 40, he looks like he might be able to go till he's 50.
Well, we've already had 12 All-Star games, and there are some of the players getting prepared for the match. It's coming your way live and exclusive here on Fox Sports. But out of the 12 matches already completed, 7 have been decided by single figures, and we're expecting this one could be tied as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look at last year's game, the Aussies got up by about 15. It was a huge, high-scoring game, and I'm sure everyone here tonight's hoping that it'll be a close but exciting game with plenty of points on the board and plenty of excitement.
Well, the lowest winning score in NBL All-Star history is in the 120, so we are expecting a very exciting time coming your way here on Fox Sports. We'll put James Harvey on the spot straight away and find out who's going to win here between Australia and the World All-Stars.
Well, Steve Carfino and myself have been jaw-jacking ourselves beforehand. I know he's a token Aussie, but he's going with the world tonight, and I'm sticking with the Australians all the way, and hopefully a big win for him.
Well, I'm with you as well, James, and we mentioned Steve Carfino. He is here soaking up the atmosphere. Take it away, Steve.
That's right, Case. Nothing but atmosphere here. The 2005 Slam Dunk competition by Phillips, and of course, this baby, the Velocity All-Star Game powered by Virgin. And I tell you what, I don't know what's powering me right now. I think it's Mojo, baby. But this game is full on. Atmosphere is electric. We got a lot of people here. The ladies, because it's ladies' night. And of course, we got the best talent in the competition. The most athletic guys going up for the slam dunks. And the hottest girls in the land dancing around. My boy, me. I'm talking about myself in the third person. Steve Carfino, back to you.
Thanks very much, Steve. He gets all the good gigs here. James Harvey, surrounded by a bevy of beauties here, the Virgin Blue cheerleaders.
How are we going to drag? We're not going to be able to drag him away. No way at all from that.
I don't think so. There's Mike Helms, who is going to play here. Has missed the last couple of NBL regular season games because of injury. But he's excited, as I'm sure all the World All-Stars are. And boy, do they have some scoring potential. In fact, if you add up the averages of the players that are going in tonight, the World All-Stars average 192 points per game. The Aussie All-Stars are around at 163. So 30 more points for the Aussies to try and track them down, James.
As I said earlier, I think this is going to be a game that Brian Gorgian must hate to coach. You know, he loves that defense and loves playing some hard-nosed defense and shutting teams down, and guys like Jason Smith renowned for their defense, but I don't think there's going to be any tonight. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, and you look at the All-Star judges over there of the dunk comp. You know, there's some scoring power there, so that's what they want to see as well.
Well, Brian Gorgian and Phil Smythe are the two head coaches. Phil is in his second All-Star game as a coach, winning last year when he actually coached the Australian All-Stars team, and that result for Phil Smythe was 156 to 140, a 16-point win in Townsville. And we can see Adam Ballinger sitting next to Phil Smythe on Phil's right, or camera left. Hasn't suited up for the game. Unfortunately, Adam Ballinger has an ankle injury that he sustained against the Tigers last weekend, and he has had to pull out of the match. But Sean Redditch there, Dusty Reichart in the front of the picture as well are all set to go here and serve it up to the Aussie All-Stars. And Brian Gorgian will be under a little bit of pressure here because he's coached in 4 previous NBL All-Star games, but he's lost the last 2 that he's coached in. And the last time he won was 1993 when he coached the World Stars to an upset win over the Aussies, and we still haven't forgiven him for doing that.
Like I said before, I think he wants to win at all costs, no matter what we play. I'm sure he could be playing any of his kids at a game of golf or anything like that, a mini putt golf, and he still wants to win. So you can see it. He's pacing the sideline already. He's like a big cat. I think he wants to get the win, and I know Phil, with some bragging rights over Brian, he'd love that.
Well, we have 6 players in the All-Star Dunk competition. They have each completed 2 dunks so far, and they have 1 more in the minor round, and the 2 highest scorers will go through to the final. And at the moment, leading the pack is Everard Bartlett, the 19-year-old. There he is with his back to us, and Deborah George is second at the moment. The 2 just conferring at the moment. Roland Roberts was the first cab off the rank. And this was Roland, his first dunk, and not a bad way to start. He's an angry man, James.
Oh, he's an angry man. Look at that. Look at the power on that. That's something we all love to see. I'm a power man. I like power in my dunks. Don't worry about this finesse stuff. I want the power.
An NCAA dunk competition winner. Here was his second dunk with an elbow swing right at the finish as well in front of the home fans. Roland Roberts has put together 2 very good dunks.
I think the judges might have been a little tough on him too, actually. I think they've been pretty impressive starts for the NCAA former dunk champion.
Well, let's go to Steve now with Roland's 3rd attempt.
This is a very serious competition. Roland Roberts is the first dunker, of course, but he's injured his shoulder. He's getting some therapy on it right now, and we're going to have to go to our second dunker. I know this is going to throw a loop in your stuff case, but our second dunker is Cortez Groves, and Cortez Groves, of course, from the Wollongong Hawks. He's the man that hails from K-State University, and he threw down some serious dunks. So Cortez Groves will be our first dunker here in round 3.
Well, Cortez Groves, it is going to be his first dunk, a 2-handed reverse. Drew 32.5 from the judges out of a possible 40. His second dunk went for a lob pass with a 360 finish that just didn't come off, so he's going to have to produce something good here to work his way into the final, James.
He needs a teammate to throw him an alley-oop. I remember plenty of alley-oops he's had this year. Here we go.
Ooh. Woo.
They love teasing us, don't they? They've been teasing us all night.
Yes, the alley-oop that Cortez had in Adelaide 3 years ago was spectacular. Here he is between the legs, not enough elevation.
The adrenaline's probably pumping. He knows Fox is live now. He's ready to go.
This will be his last attempt. He's getting up on the lob through the legs. Couldn't finish it off for Cortez Groves.
So close. Some of the best dunks have been missed too so far. If they'd been pulled off, the house would have come down.
All right, guys, let's see what you've got there. I believe it is a blank look on everyone's face. We're going to go to our next dunker, guys. All right. It's a tough crowd. Hey, everybody knows Sydney's a tough crowd, especially the judges. Sam McKinnon from the Brisbane Bullets. Sorry, Sam.
Well, Sam McKinnon.
Sam.
Having a bit of fun with us as well. He missed his first 2 dunks, so he was determined to get a score. It won't be a high one, but it will be a score for Sam McKinnon, who missed his first 2 dunks.
Hasn't been a great night for Sammy Mack, has it?
Sam McKinnon gets an average 7, a 5 from Shane Heel, a 6 from Damian Keogh, and a 7 from Murray Dunstan. Okay. Sydney have seen this gentleman in the first 2 rounds, but here in round 3, the Fox Sports viewers are going to see this gentleman right here. Everybody, Mr. Bartlett.
Well, here is the leader in the tournament at the moment, Everard Bartlett. His first dunk was between the legs and then with the left-handed finish. Here he goes, dunk number 3. Not the best pass he was after.
The rumours getting here tonight was that he could jump too, and we've certainly seen that in the first 2 dunks.
Well, he jumped over 3 small children for his second dunk, and here he is. Oh!
This young fella can jump. As soon as we got here tonight, Case, we said we looked at his legs and we thought he's definitely a spring jumper.
Here he is a little bit earlier when he put together some fantastic action. That was a warm-up, and then launching himself. That's with the left hand, and then jumping over 3 kids with a star jump and a nice finish as well from Everard Bartlett.
I'd hate to put the mock on him, but I think this one could be almost all over. He's starting to streak ahead.
Well, let's get the scores now with Steve.
Everard Bartlett. Let's see Andrew Gaze with a 9, Shane Hill with a 9, Damian Keel with a 9, and Murray Dudson with a 9.5. From Townsville, you all know him as the Birdman, especially all you people in Townsville, Larry Abney.
Larry Abney, one of the fiercest dunkers in the NBL. Hasn't really got it going so far. Let's see what he can come up with here as he works the reverse off the window. He tried this dunk earlier in the competition without success, but he's going back to it. He obviously likes it. Well, we're going to get a change up now from the Birdman. Larry Abney all the way from Townsville. 360 from close range, can't find the target.
We do want to see him make one because we know the celebration he's got. We've seen it on Fox this year. I want to see the Birdman.
He's going, looking for the ball. One more. We're going with Larry Abney. Last chance, Larry. Bring it on. He's going to need a big result here if he can make it through to the slam dunk final, which will be held live at halftime. And the 360 and the finish there from Larry Abney.
All right, gentlemen, our expert panel of slam dunk judges here. Andrew Gaze with a 7, Shane Hill with a 7, Damian Keogh with an 8, and Murray Dudson with an 8.
Well, Deborah George a little earlier went through his first 2 dunks. He's a very exciting player from the Cairns Taipans. The love pass to himself and quick finish as well from Deborah George.
Some people might remember him from last year. I got back from Israel, and one of the first things I saw was this young kid in the dunk comp, and he was very impressive.
Second dunk was even better with a windmill finish. Appeared to be on the way down, but he still somehow got the ball above the rim for the flush.
All right, from the Cairns Taipans, Deborah George with a little assistance from Dave Thomas from the Melbourne Tigers.
Deborah George second at the moment. Strong finish here, and he should go in. Oh! Off the head of Dave Thomas, and the one-handed flush from Deborah George.
What a header. The Socceroos would have loved that.
He's a very exciting commodity, Deborah George. Nice finish.
2 young kids are showing him up.
A 9, and a 9.5. Don't you guys watch any soccer? Man, I thought you guys would be excited about the World Cup. Man, tough crowd. Deborah George, that had to be the most imaginative dunk I've ever seen, and a 9 from these judges. A couple of them couldn't even dunk a donut. That's messed up. Woo! All right. Let's tally these things up. These guys are working real hard over here on the... It's just addition, fellas.
Well, at the moment, Deborah George and Everard Bartlett, who are leading after the first 2 rounds, by my calculations, have made it through here. Highest scoring dunk so far. 38.5 for Everard Bartlett with his very first dunk. And the star jump over 3 small children, I thought, might have earned him extra points, but that drew a 38 and he finished with a 36.5. And Deborah George finished with a 36.5 after having 2 34s as well. Let's get to Steve.
No surprise to know who the 2 finalists are, but it's very close. There's only a half point in it. With 104.5 is Deborah George from the Cairns Taipans. Put your hands together for Deborah. And all the way from New Zealand, woo, my man, Mr. Bartlett from the New Zealand Breakers, 105.0. Fantastic effort by the young guys trying to break into the league and show up the stars. Should be good, Case. Back to you.
Thanks, Steve. Deborah George and Everard Bartlett, the 19-year-old development player from the New Zealand Breakers, who has already put on a great show in the Shaky Isles, are going through to the final. You'll see it all here at halftime on Fox Sports.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
2 very talented youngsters who are going to be performing in the All-Star Showdown, and Steve's going to catch a word with them right now.
All-Stars. Number 1 from the Wollongong Hawks, Cortez Groves.
Well, obviously a few problems there with the audio for Steve Carfino. Trying to get a word with David George and Everett Bartlett, who we're going to see a little later in the slam dunk competition as the teams for the All-Star Game are introduced to the fans here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. A healthy crowd, approaching 6,000 by my reckoning here. And what should be a very, very entertaining affair. And Steve Carfino now can speak with our dunk finalists.
All right, Deba, how many times have you done that dunk? And you must know Dave Thomas real well to trust him with bouncing it off his head and you throw it down.
No, like when we were warming up, I was just asking him if he wanted, like, if he come and hit, throw it off his head for me, and he said, yeah, okay. And he said, I don't know if I'll get it straight. I said, it's okay, as long as you get it next to the ring, I'm gonna go get it. And like, I only practiced it a couple of times, but I never done it before.
All right, and the other slam dunker that's in the final is Everhard Bartlett. And I tell you what, you walked into this place super casual, threw that first dunk down between your legs. Were you nervous at all?
Yeah, I felt a little bit nervous, but I was more excited. And I know what I'm capable of doing, and I wanted to show you all. So I'm glad it went in.
What we talk about degree of difficulty in diving and other types of sports like gymnastics. What was your most difficult dunk, and which one were you kind of nervous about whether you'd be able to pull off?
Well, I think it was got to be on the legs. I mean, I kind of get it all the time, not all the time, it's risky dunk, but I think it's just the excitement and the adrenaline just built up, so it was good to get that.
Okay, Deborah George, who has been in a dunk competition already in Townsville. This is your second dunk competition, but what's your next step? You want to be playing in this All-Star Game and hooping during the main event?
Yeah, I would love to play in the All-Star Game. Yeah, that would be great.
All right, you got anybody you want to say hello to back home?
I just want to say hello to my families back at home and my brothers and my friends.
All right, thanks a lot, fellas, and good luck in the final. All right, Case.
Thanks, Steve. Everard Bartlett and Deborah George will be returning at halftime in the final of the Velocity All-Star Game dunk competition. And Everard Bartlett, what a show he's put on. He starts as the favourite here. He is going to be the man to beat. He looks like he could jump out of the gym here, Haas.
Oh, well, he was amazing. I mean, we didn't know much about him. He's sort of like the Brett Rainbow. When Brett Rainbow used to come out, nobody knew much about him and win every year. He was fantastic today. And Devin George, second year running, he's pulled out a big performance and made the final. So it's a battle of the little fellas.
All right, the All-Star Game is approaching. Stay with us live and exclusive here on Fox Sports. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sydney Entertainment Centre. All-Star Showdown about to get underway. The Aussies taking on the World Team. And the World Team to be coached by Phil Smythe and Brian Gorgon in charge of the Aussies, and both coaches are with Steve.
Well, I'm right between Phil and Brian, and I heard these guys don't get along, but they seem to be getting along fine here. Maybe I'm just a peacemaker or something like that. It's just a lot of love in the building. Phil, we're into your preparation time.
Yeah, well, we're a little bit short on that at the moment. We've got Andrew talking to him about defense, so we're confident we'll be right on top of that.
Well, Brian, you're looking a little looser than normal. Normally you're rubbing your head and pacing the sideline, but you look a little relaxed. Has it got something to do with that wealth of talent that you have out on the floor?
I'm happy about the team for sure, and I'm looking forward to watch these guys play, both teams. And I guess it's the one game of the year that you're not nervous. And it's nice to come to a game where your stomach's not doing cartwheels. I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Getting back for last year, you copped a little bit of a hammer in last year from Phil.
I'm sure hoping that they shoot for me like they shot for Phil last year, because they put on 150 points and they didn't miss a shot. And I'm hoping that these guys can do the same thing tonight.
All right. At the after-game function, I spoke to Ian Davies, and he said he was the major reason that they shot so well. Ian Davies, according to Ian, is the best player that's ever laced up boots for Australia as well. So are you missing Ian Davies as an assistant coach? You got a pretty good one in Andrew Gaze.
Well, Ian was a great shooter. Andrew maybe a little bit better. So, if we could shoot better than we did last year, that would be amazing.
And this team right here, obviously the Australian team's got a lot of talent. Chris Anstey, how big is he? How dominant is he? Found that out on Wednesday night. But you guys have a little bit of talent too.
Yeah, look, it'll be an exciting game. There's a lot of talent on both teams. It'll be exciting. So, we've got to find a way to try and negate their size. Maybe we've got to shoot more from outside.
All right, Phil, a pleasure. Brian Gorgon, a pleasure. May the best man win.
Two head coaches there with Steve Carfino. Phil Smythe has 7 of the top 12 scorers in the league at his disposal. The Aussie All-Stars only have 3 of the top 12. And Fox Sports has one of the top 3 scorers in the league on the commentary team as well, James Harvey. And what you would give to be out there showing your wares?
Oh, I'd love to. I mean, I've only competed in one All-Star game. It was just a fantastic moment, and it's just such a fun game. And to get to see and meet these guys that you don't normally on this sort of a level, you know, you become friends with them. You get to see what they're like, not only on the court but off it. And like I said earlier, you know, to be out there with guys like D-Mac and playing with those sort of guards, CJ, it would be fantastic. And there's going to be plenty of points on the board tonight.
And you're now an assistant coach with the West Sydney Razorbacks. Well, Steve's standing by with the assistant coaches for the All-Star game.
I'm surrounded by greatness. First couple of great coaches in Phil Smythe and Brian Gorgon. And look, Andrew Gaze and Shane Heel. 2 good-looking guys, by the way. But I tell you what, you guys, you got a big, big obstacle. That Australian team looks pretty good. And Hammer likes to talk a lot of mess when he wins, too.
That's what I said. Both Shane and I are completely and totally irrelevant as far as proceedings are concerned. But nevertheless, we will claim the victory and we'll be talking a lot if we do happen to get the win. So there's a lot at stake between Shane and I. And I think he's got the advantage because a lot of those blokes played together in the Australian team before. So, but, you know, we've got heart on our side, so hopefully we'll be all right.
Well, Shane, you got a few competitive issues. I think we've gotten that out in the open. You've crossed the white line here, but it's an all-star game. Are you still feeling pretty casual, like the entrepreneur that you are?
Cross the white line. Talking of crossing the white line, this man carried our flag for our country, mate, at the 2000 Olympics. I thought he would have spoken with an American accent. Is he kidding? He's helping out the Americans, mate. That's what I've got an issue with.
Well, I think they were afraid to put you on the world side, as Aussie as you are. They were afraid that, you know, you'd make a confrontation, you might be going at it. That's why they got me in between you guys.
Fair chance we would, but I'm happy to be with Gorge. I'm happy to be with the Aussies, and I think that we'll be all right tonight.
Okay, you worried about Shane? He gets a little fired up here. You see his lip quivering?
Well, I think we both got our gear sorted out in the back of the change rooms, and if the boys don't listen to us, we'll just sub them out and sub ourselves in. Yeah, so it's going to be fun, but no, Shane talks it up a bit, and him and his boy Gorgon over there pouncing around. I tell you, there's not a lot of room in that bench with all the egos going on, and so it's going to be interesting. But you know, I think I like the feel in the change room with the fellas. Our guys got that international flavour. So experience coming from all over the world. We're not just the Americans. We're Canadian. We're China. We're everything. So yeah, it should be good.
All right, Andrew Gaze making a long comment as usual. We'll be back after the break with the Australian All-Stars and the World All-Stars right after this.
Welcome back to the Sydney Entertainment Centre. There's Luke Kendall, one of the Sydney Kings stars, who's here having a look at the All-Star game, which should be very exciting indeed. And James Harvey is going to tell us about the Aussie starting lineup.
And what a team it is. I mean, I think in the front court, and what an internationally experienced front court this is. Glenn Saville, Chris Anstey and Martin Catalini, they can do everything, those three. Rebound, score, they've been fantastic for their clubs all season, and I'm sure they're going to do it tonight. They'll be the keys to the Australian team, no doubt about that tonight. In the backcourt, we also, I think, have CJ and Daryl McDonald, 2 fantastic players, guys that I'd love to be out there with tonight. D-Mac's having probably his career season and has been unbelievable this year in leading Melbourne to maybe favouritism, as well as CJ Bruton, maybe the leader for the MVP this season. Certainly has my tip in that direction, and the Kings have been led beautifully by him. The benches, Brett Maher in a little bit of doubt with a hamstring injury, but I think we'll play Sammy Mack, Jay Smith, Scotty McGregor, the captain of my club, and Mark Bradkey. What a bench that is, and they're the favourites in my mind.
Yeah, well, the World All-Stars are a pretty good team, too. They have a lot of talent out there. They're looking a little small as we check them out. In the center position is Larry the Birdman Abney. He's doing a fantastic job for Townsville. Dusty Reichardt, the garbage man, as well as Sean Redditch, who gobbles up the numbers over in Western Australia. In the backcourt for the World All-Stars, pretty handy at that. Cortez Groves and Dave Thomas coming off the bench for the World All-Stars. They're loaded. They're not that tall, but they are loaded. They have a wealth of talent on the bench with Lou Way. He'll be getting some minutes tonight with Willie Farley. Mike Helms has a knee injury. I'm not sure how much we'll see him. Bobby Brennan, a late inclusion. And, of course, Sydney's favorite, Roland Roberts.
And our special guest at the Velocity All-Star Game is a youngster by the name of Terry Vo, who many of you may remember had a tragic basketballing accident where he lost both hands and one foot, but he's bounced back bigger than ever, and he is our special guest here at the game.
Terry Vo's story is one of remarkable strength and character, which has both touched and inspired millions of Australians. Easter Saturday, Terry was playing basketball with his friends when the garage wall came crashing down during a slam dunk, severing his hands and left foot. Through surgery and countless hours of physio, Terry maintained a smile and always remained positive.
I'd like to play basketball again, but not slam dunk.
True to his word, 8 months later, this remarkable 11-year-old is back shooting hoops.
It's the way to shoot the ball. It's the way to shoot the ball.
Oh, one of the most courageous stories you will ever hear. Terry Vo makes his way out for the ceremonial ball toss. And James Harvey even admitted pre-game to having a tear in the eye watching the story about Terry Vo.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable, he's an inspiration, I think, and every player out there tonight, I'm sure, that's standing out there now high-fiving him, that'll give them a little boost. What a remarkable young man.
Just amazing courage and tenacity to fight back from a very, very tough situation. Terry Vo, the ceremonial ball toss, and the action in the Velocity All-Star Game powered by Virgin Blue. Not too far away. Great moment for Terry. And smiles all round for the players as well. He'll give them inspiration, Steve.
Oh, I mean, he's a great kid. I met him before the game, and, you know, we're shooting around with him. And, you know, like any basketball player, you just can't watch somebody shoot all the time. I had to have a couple of shots. He's trying to take the ball from me. He's like, hey, this is my story, my ball. Give it up.
Front row seats for Terry Vo. We are set to go here. The 13th All-Star Game. Ray Hunt, Rao Kirsten, Scott Becker, our three referees. And All-Star Game number 13 is go. The World All-Stars pinch the ball. Dusty Rijkaard comes up with an explosive finish to get the ball rolling.
How many coaches do you think had their hearts in their mouth then on that play? Thinking about next week, wow, it could have been 2 serious injuries in the first play.
Chris Anstey already with a knee problem coming in, just slipping on the floor, bringing down Rijkaard. But they appear to be okay.
Oh, that'll put a damper on things, would it?
Catalini goes to CJ Bruton and now Glenn Saville measuring the triple from the top of the key. Couldn't finish it. Anstey the offensive rebound, and as he has done all season for the Melbourne Tigers, open scoring for the Aussies.
2 front runners for MVP in the NBL this year on the same team. I think CJ and Chris starting out well.
Redditch gets a quick one off. Glenn Saville the rebound. CJ Bruton pushing the break for the Aussies. Catalini behind the back to Daryl McDonald.
Well, you'll see a few passes go astray because these guys aren't used to playing with one another, and I tell you what, they make a couple of mistakes like that. I know Brian Gorge will have him sit his butt on the bench in a hurry.
Catch-22 though, you want to do something fancy in an All-Star game. Cortez with a nice three.
Nice start to the match from Cortez Groves, the leading scorer in the National Basketball League. Top 10 in assists and steals as well. He too would be in the running for MVP honours. As Bruton restarts for McDonald. Anstey pulling the trigger on a long-range three, can't finish. Larry Abney going behind the back as well. Rijkaard, catch and shoot over Catalini, came up short. The Birdman, Larry Abney, feeds Redditch, who has one rattle around the rim and jump out. Rijkaard still going and still failing to get a reply. Now it's Catalini taking them on from close range, couldn't finish it. The Aussie All-Stars, slow start for them as Dave Thomas brings on the tricks.
He'd love this game. He's got plenty of tricks up his sleeve for sure.
McDonald gets it back from Anstey. The 2 Melbourne Tigers combined. The Aussies try to work into this lead.
Now, Steve, we're going to set this right now. I got the Aussies, you got the the world team, I should say.
You got it.
Then Saville handing off to Bruton. McDonald gets it. Dino back he goes again. They've got it up. Cortez Groves back the other way. Behind the back to himself, works the baseline, overcooked it from close range. And now Chris Anstey. Get upstairs for the dunk, Chris.
I got a question for you. Cortez Groves, CJ, or D-Mac, who can embarrass you with the ball more than those three guys, out of those three?
That is a very, very tough question. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, CJ and Cortez are going to score on you regardless. But D-Mac can make you feel worse because not only does he put the tricks on you, but then he drops a nice little dime off to the big fellow who then dunks it right over you to make you feel even worse. So, man, they're all very talented players with the ball.
No joy on that offensive set for the World All-Stars and Glenn Saville. To Daryl McDonald, who looks off a couple of defenders. Back to Glenn Saville, who catches the front of the rim. Shooting woes at the moment for the Aussies, who are 3 of 7. The World All-Stars 3 of 11 at 27%.
Okay, that was ugly.
It was ugly. I think we're all waiting for everyone to warm up, aren't we? We're sitting here waiting. The shots are going to start to drop soon, no doubt about that. They're getting him up, though, that's for sure.
McDonald, what a pass inside for Martin Cavallini as he threads the needle.
He's just in such good form this year.
Aussies have scored the last 6 to take the lead for the first time in the game. Played 3.5 minutes of the first term and they're off and running again. McDonald to Pruden. Back to T-Mac. Who works into the paint from close range and tumbles for Daryl McDonald.
I'd have to vote him. He could, like you said, he can score on, you can finish, especially starts doing that slow sloping move to the hoop when you think he's going to be passing to somebody any second.
Isn't it strange you can get embarrassed by someone going so slow? He speeds up, then slows down and manages to get past you.
4 minutes played here and the Aussies in front by 3 points. There's the Rijkaard, works inside Catalini, confronted by Saville, forced into a tough shot, wouldn't tumble for him. And the Aussies go to work again on this occasion. The pass from McDonald, a little too much on it for CJ Brook. Phil Smythe, Andrew Gaze, plenty to ponder at the moment. Bobby Brannan about to check into the game as well as Groves throws the quick alley-oop for Abney, who couldn't control it. McDonald has numbers in support. He gives it up to Catalini, who waltzes into the paint, kicks it outside. Anstey back to where it started. Now Saville baseline. Not surprisingly, the shot clock hasn't been a factor so far in the game.
I'd love to know how many shot clock violations there have been in All-Star games in NBL history. I don't think there would have been many.
Anstey to McDonald with Saville in support. He goes upstairs and Len Saville comes up with the goods.
Yeah. Hey, there's no trick that we like to see more than a guy catch the ball and turn the corner and throw one down hard.
Especially like that. He does that so easily. He's a bit like Sammy Mack, although Sammy Mack wasn't too wonderful in the dunk comp tonight. I know he can do it exactly like that with power.
Abney strips Anstey of the ball. Now Groves goes to work. One of the finals in the dunk competition, getting out a little frustration after missing the final.
No question. Those boys, they should have done a few of those in the dunk comp. We've got the 2 young fellas vying for the prize now.
Saville loses control of it. Dusty Rijkaard puts a stop to it. Not surprisingly, the referees haven't had a lot to do so far. As Groves goes to Dave Thomas looking for Rijkaard. Couldn't control it under pressure. Both teams make substitutions here. We've played almost 6 minutes of the first term. The Aussies by 3.
We'll get another look at this Cortez Grove dunk. As he passes it, and CJ's thinking, this is an all-star game. I don't need to take a charge or anything like that. But the thing about Cortez Groves, maybe not a great dunker in a dunk competition, but I tell you what, in a half-court game, he gets more dunks than any guard I've seen in this league.
Absolutely. Case and I were talking about that earlier. How alley-oop, he's the alley-oop king, I think. Certainly the best alley-oop catcher we've seen out here for some years.
Since the golden days of Leonard Copeland. He still has a few days going, and Jason Smith gets an excellent look inside from Mark Radke, who's playing in his 7th All-Star game. Closing in on the record. He's way going to work, the Chinese captain. Couldn't finish it off. Bruton behind the back to McKinnon, and he goes to work, alighting to the hoop to come up with the finish.
Boy, like you said, him and Saville, boy, they can have those complete games where they stat every category.
In an All-Star game, you should be able to gather some stats pretty quickly too. Cortez is feeling it tonight.
7 in the game for Cortez Groves, the individual high scorer. No surprise, seeing he leads the league. Here's Bradke working against a teammate in Bobby Brannan from the Brisbane Bullets. And Jason Smith warming up as well at his home court.
I think the defense wasn't too sure whether he could shoot that from out there. He learnt that pretty quick. He only landed in the country recently, but he learnt that.
Here's Bobby Brannan unsuccessfully. Anstey grabs a rebound.
You better tell the translator, show a hand. Better learn how to say that quick.
Well, both the Kings and the Perth Wildcats are interested in grabbing hold of Blue Wave for next NBL season. Let's see what he can do. Child unsuccessfully with the Sacramento Kings. Last year, Larry Abney almost pulled down the entire structure. He's still having trouble finishing off a dunk. Anstey from close range adds another 2, and the Aussies lead by double figures.
Old Magic teammate Sam McKinnon and Jason Smith. Jason's like, no, don't throw that to me.
And Anstey was in there too, all 3.
Uwe loses control. Jason Smith has Abney to beat. Here he goes. The lay-in for Jason Smith. No wonder he wasn't in the dunk competition. He's better than that.
He's flirting with us. Hopefully signs of things to come.
I always think it's interesting when a guy like Jason Smith, who's so intense, plays in a game with not a whole lot of intensity. You know how he rises to the occasion. I mean, like D-Mac is tailor-made for an All-Star game. I'm not saying anything about his lack of intensity. Just that's his game. He's got a lot of tricks, and he's always looking for a place to showcase him. But Jason Smith is meat and potatoes.
I wonder if we'll see though, if in the 4th quarter, if it's close, if the eyes will just glass over suddenly, lock in on that tunnel vision.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there like that.
First free throws in the match after Anstey picked up the first foul. It took 8 minutes before a whistle was provided.
You know, speaking of that 4th quarter thing, you know, Brett Maher, how many big shots did he hit for them early in the season? C.J. Bruton for the Kings. D-Mac with the shot clock winding down in tight games. You got just Jason Smith, you know, in last year's grand final.
2 Brisbane teammates hook up there as Bradke hits McKinnon with a nice pass for the alley-oop play.
Back on what you were saying, Steve, I think Brett Maher this year too, the amazing thing was he wasn't having very good games or big games in those games, but then in the 4th quarter, he just took over and won them 7 or 8 games off his own bat.
27-15 the score.
The Aussie All-Stars at 68% from the field, putting on quite a show as Scotty McGregor helps himself to his first score in the game.
We've got to love those Razorbacks.
Bruton picks off the pass, challenged by Lou Wei. Now Jason Smith works outside the 3-point line and adds another long-range bomb. Into double figures, Jason Smith.
You could say that Jason Smith likes the rims here, but he hasn't touched it yet.
Ball net. Your money's starting to look a little shaky, Steve, I think.
It looked like a blowout, especially after that.
Shot clock getting down to 6 seconds as Mike Helms introduces himself to the All-Star game. The Aussies run back hard though. Now Bradke firing over Brannan on the baseline. And Abney with the rebound.
I wonder if the 2 Brisbane teammates, Brannan and Bradke here, will take it easy on each other.
Well, Bradke wants to do it all at the moment, carrying the ball back up the floor as well. Greeted by Brannan. Shows him a move, and throws up the 2 as well. That's why Mark Bradke's in All-Star game number 7.
Oh, man.
How much trash will be spoken at the next Bullets practice session?
Lou Wei with the penetration and foul going to the hoop. We'll go to the strike.
Number 8 for the Australian All-Star, Sam McKinnon, charged with his first personal. Checking in, Darryl McDonald.
Well, Lou Wei trying to get to the rim here. I would imagine it's a little tougher to finish in a game like this.
Really is an unknown entity out here. He looks like he's got a nice shot and some quicks. Certainly blown by a defender a couple of occasions so far.
That's the thing when you play at the next level. Whenever you're playing, say if you're playing ABA or State League, you go to the NBL, or you know, you're college and you go to the NBA, it's being able to finish. You can always shoot the basketball, but you turn the corner, guys are bigger, quicker, get to the spot faster.
Phil Smythe, the coach of the World All-Stars, has joined us at the moment. Phil, not going the way we had planned at the start.
No, look, the Aussie team's playing exceptionally well. Our defence is pretty poor at the moment. We said let's not give them any easy transition baskets. Just saw Jason Smith make a layup. So right now, they're playing off each other really well. We're going to tidy that up a little bit.
The World All-Stars defence is looking like the Gays' defence to a certain degree.
Well, I don't know if you can say that about Andrew. His defence was pretty good. He was in charge of the defence. A bit suspect at the moment.
Nice delegation, Phil.
Yeah, sorry, what was that, Case?
Very good delegation.
Very good delegation. Well, he didn't have time to work with the group, so I've just handed that off to him quickly.
Bradkey for the triples off the money. Now, you don't have Adam Ballinger suiting up. Roland Roberts isn't going to be with us either.
No, they're both injured. Adam's an ankle injury they did a couple of days ago, and hurt himself with a dunk comp. So we just need to pick it up a little bit at the end of this quarter and see if we can get running on them in the second quarter.
All right, Phil, we appreciate your time. Good luck for the rest of the match.
Good on you, Case.
Phil Smythe there as Dave Thomas helps himself to the basket for the World All-Stars. Closing in on quarter time. 17-point lead, make it 19. Bradkey's given us a whole collection of highlights already.
Maybe ominous signs for the teams in the remainder of the NBL Championship. Suddenly he's dunking now, left-handed, strutting.
He is energised. Dave Thomas looking for Helms, couldn't handle the pass. Bobby Branham went through without it. And now McDonald and Jason Smith joining in, looking upstairs.
How good at Darren McDonald's hands down this end, so quick. The guy still thought he had the ball.
Last play of term number one looks good from Mike Helms, just couldn't finish it off. And at the end of term number one, the Aussie All-Stars are creating havoc here in the Velocity All-Star game, and they lead by 21 points. The Aussies 44, the World All-Stars 23 here on Fox Sports.
They've got 44 points. I tell you what, when they were talking about scoring 200, I thought they were joking beforehand.
Case and I were talking and joking about the 156 last year. They're on track to smash that at the moment.
It doesn't look like, I mean, it's not like they're just shooting the eyes out of it and you don't think that they can do that again.
Try not to give them anything too easy. They're just shooting.
There's probably players on this team too, I think, that would be eyeing in a weird kind of way the Commonwealth Games, too. This Australian team, it's important for them to put on a good show in front of Brian. Not take it too seriously, but at the same time take it seriously enough that they could maybe put their name in the hat.
Defensively, so take away their transition baskets, make them play a little bit as opposed to, well, we'll wait for them to miss, then we'll go grab the rebound and we're off quick. Okay, try and rotate guys in and out pretty quick. Here we go, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, the World All-Stars need to clean up in the turnover count as well. 9 turnovers in the first period to just 5. So the World All-Stars hanging on to the rock too well here.
Jason Smith has been unbelievable in this first quarter. Yeah, 16 points, 7 of 7 shooting. Wow.
Well, aside from Jason Smith's 2 threes, every basket that the Aussies have scored, 19 of 21 have been inside the paint.
That's impressive.
70% from the field, opposed to 36%. There are some of the Sydney Kings enjoying their break at the moment, with Mark Worthington growing a beard, Luke Kendall, Anthony Stuzzenjar in the background as well. Mark Worthington is a current member of the Boomer squad and a lot for Rookie of the Year honours. A little disappointed he wouldn't be suiting up here as well, James.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have loved to have been out there, particularly in his rookie year, maybe try to outshine Brad Newley of last year. Brad Newley played in his first game and won the MVP. And I'd actually like to know, has any player won the MVP award in the previous All-Star game and not got to suit up in the next All-Star game?
Yeah, especially when he improved on his numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
10,000 points. I'm going to every dollar that's spent on Virgin Blue Pacific Blue or Polynesian.
Well, Mark Bradkey taking charge here. We've seen during the regular season the big man will not even extend himself to pull the net out of the rim if it gets caught there. He just doesn't want to get the ball if it's lodged between the backboard and the rim. And here he is dunking, throwing no-look passes, carrying the ball the length of the floor. Mark Bradkey, what a star he has been. And closing in on the record as well, Andrew Gates, 9 All-Star appearances. Shane Hill with 8. Then Mark Davis and Leroy Loggins, the two greats, also with 8 appearances, and Mark Bradke with 7. James Harvey has 1. Steve Carpino played in the first All-Star game back in 1988 and did a good job of it as well, according to the stats.
Yeah, that's right. 8 for 13 from the field.
You only got 13 shots
no,
up?
I'm kidding. 5 for 8 from the field.
Well, Fox Sports News have joined the All-Star extravaganza as well. It's quarter time here at the moment, and the Aussie All-Stars are holding sway. They lead by 21 points, a mammoth 44-point quarter to 23 from the World All-Stars. Jason Smith, the Sydney Kings star, has 16 points. He came off the bench and hit 7 of 7 field goals, including 2 of 2 from long range. And Larry Abney, you can see there in the World All-Stars, well, they've got their hands full. We're not expecting they were going to upset the Aussies, but can they come back from 21 down? We'll keep you posted here on Fox Sports News.
Thanks very much, Joe.
Brian Goorjian still looking intense. Only 21 in front, don't want to get too carried away yet, Brian.
Can he not look intense?
Second quarter action
Underway in term number 2, the Aussies have the possession arrow here and lead by 21. Bradke spinning on Rijkaard, double teamed. Now they go to Glenn Saville. Couldn't finish it off from close range. A little more starch in the D from the World All-Stars, and there needed to be. Farley trying to split a couple of defenders with the pass, unable to do so. And Daryl McDonald running the show again, almost caught Glenn Saville off guard. Bruton for the 3.
You just got to run with your hands up in the air, just right in front of your face if you're playing with D-Mac.
He shot the ball so well this season, CJ.
Sean Redditch at the top of the key. Catches it a little deep. Dusty Rijkaard, regardless of what competition he's in, always seems to be in the right place at the right time to get a hand on a rebound.
What an influence that CJ and Daryl have had. There's 15 assists to 3 assists at the moment in front of the Australian team. Although if Cortez can start working one-on-one magic like that, they probably won't need an assist.
The Aussies turn it over. World All-Stars to work their way back into the frame here. Cortez Groves looks inside for Rijkaard, harassed by the smaller CJ Bruton, and now baseline Larry Abney fires unsuccessfully. Here's Mark Bradke with a rebound. Off to CJ, Catalini, Saville and Daryl McDonald joining in quickly. And Bradke showing the fans some tricks here, as well as Bruton steps back from Sean Redditch and fills it up.
It is a line ball on who would embarrass you more.
Absolutely right. I couldn't answer that question. I had to sit firmly on the fence.
Redditch caught under the hoop, couldn't finish it off. McDonald has it again. The only man there to have a triple-double in an All-Star game, Daryl McDonald. Good work from Rijkaard again to Redditch to Farley for the finish. The World All-Stars need some stops, and they've got one here as McDonald and CJ Bruton cough it up between them. Farley off to work, bounces off the back of Daryl McDonald, pulls the trigger on a 3, just couldn't get it to go.
About to say the fix is in. I think he threw that one away deliberately. They're trying to keep this thing close. Where's Isaac Burton when you need him?
Farley to Groves, couldn't finish it. Abney needs another attempt, got it back again, the Birdman. Couldn't get it over the front of the rim. This time he will. Well, that's making hard work for yourself.
And the intensity has picked up for the World All-Stars. Unfortunately, they're still down by 21.
Martin Catalini measuring the 3 and knocking it down as well. The Aussies are 5 of 9 from long range.
Hasn't he been a matchup problem for teams this year? And when Cairns get that offense going, he is the main reason behind it.
He's so tough to guard. He can kill you so many different ways. When that jump shot's falling, he's a fantastic player.
Well, there's Roland Roberts, who unfortunately has injured himself during the slam dunk competition. His first dunk, two-handed windmill, was impressive, and then he finished the second dunk swinging from the rim by his elbow. And that is the sum total of that dunk, which wouldn't thrill Coach Brian Goorjian at the moment with their star centre, if that's a major injury.
Was it Steve who made him do that extra dunk?
I think it was, James. I think you're right.
I was out there in the middle of the court. People were just like, now what? Hey, the thing is, that dunk, even when you pull it off, looks average. Then you think, man, he's got his whole arm in the basket.
Here's Daryl McDonald from close range. Now with 6 in the game, along with 6 assists.
Well, he gets more layups where guys don't even jump. They just think, what is he going to do?
I think having played with Ricky Grace, I think the same sort of thing. You think they could get blocked so often, but for some reason they managed to stand the defense up or stall the defense, and their shots never seem to get blocked.
McDonald again down low, feeds Bradke, who works into the paint, may have travelled in the process. Ray Hunt, 4-time referee of the year. Refereed the All-Star game back in '95. If he's going to call travelling violations, it might be another 10 years before we see him in an All-Star game as well.
He's trying to even this thing up.
So's Larry Abney as he bowls over CJ Bruton, then apologises, works the baseline unsuccessfully. Catalini gets the long outlet pass from McDonald. They go to Glenn Samuel, who gets the job done and draws a foul as well. Well, Roland Roberts has been kind enough to give us some of his time. Roland, you don't look the best at the moment. Tell us about that arm.
Yeah, well, that was my first time doing that dunk. I just wanted to give it a go, and I pulled a little muscle there in my chest and my shoulder, so...
We're just watching a replay now of the dunk itself. So it's a chest muscle. Is it a major problem?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow for sure with the doc, and I don't know. We'll see. I'll take care of it. I'm really good at things like that, icing and trying to take care of myself, so I'll be all right.
And what was Brian Goorjian's reaction?
Well, of course, he wasn't too happy. Gorge wasn't too happy, and CJ wasn't too happy either. He just looked at me in a bad way, like he was upset with me. So he knows it's something serious because I'm not out there playing right now.
Well, it's a shame you're not going to be out there showing us some tricks here in the All-Star game, but we appreciate your time, Roland.
All right, take care, man. Appreciate it.
Roland Roberts joining us there. He, along with Adam Ballinger, late scratchings from the World All-Star team, who weren't big to start with. Ballinger and Roland Roberts go out. That makes it even tougher, and that's why we have a lopsided scoreline with Australia leading by 24, and Catalini now makes it 26.
They could have used Roland Roberts' shot blocking and rebounding and Alan Ballinger's mid-range jump shooting at the moment. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, they could use a lot. 60 to 34. You know, and the worst part, it didn't look like it's going to get any better.
Well, Andrew Gay spoke pre-game, Stephen, said that he had his equipment and his suit ready to go backstage if he was required. Are we going to see Andrew Gay at some stage?
Well, he'd be in the form of a big man. He's one of the taller guys sitting on the bench for the World All-Stars. I don't know, he's the coach of the World All-Stars. I don't know if his heart's in it. Like Shane said, he carried the flag for Australia. You know, he might be giving them some bum advice over there.
I think deep down he would have to love to be over there on that Aussie team. There's no question, knowing Drewy.
You can carry the ball. Dave's coming in the game, so you can carry it. So we've got 2 guys low post, 3 guys out, just swinging the wings. As soon as you swing off, you guys step out and set an on-ball screen. We just play off that, okay? Defensively, let's give it a go. We'll try a 2-3 zone, okay? So you 2 guys will be at the top. You 2 would be down the back right now. You're in the middle. Okay, fellas, we've done a little bit better job, at least not giving them some layups. Now we need to try and reel it in a bit before halftime. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Come on, fellas. Just go and set the on ball and pop, and we'll go down to you low. If you reverse it, you trace it, we'll feed the post, and you move off it. All right? Either one of you carry the ball. Mac, if you can get to the rim, get to the rim. Now, just what? Hey, Mark. If he slides through here and gets through here, space and Chris fill behind. All right, here we go. Boom.
He looks relaxed. Well, they thought they were just going to have a casual night and, you know, like hit the club afterwards. Wrong. Well, for one, there's nothing to do in Sydney on a Tuesday.
I think that's why he's such a winner, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding.
Win at all costs.
Dusty Reichert in his 4th season in the NBL. Played in last year's All-Star game, but didn't actually hit the floor because of injury. What a season he has had as well. Top 10 in the league in scoring and rebounding. And Bradkey's been a man mountain so far. 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 points for Mark Bradkey, doing it all as McDonald penetrates, kicks to Anstey. Now they find Bradkey working against his Brisbane teammate Bobby Brennan. And an easy 2 for Bradkey. He's chasing down a possible triple-double here. Saw John Riley come up very close to a triple-double in last year's All-Star game as Anstey gets the block shot. And Sean Redditch with the finishing touches though. Val Kirsten provides the whistle that will send Chris Anstey to the free throw line.
Well, Anstey going to the line. Interesting thing on him. There's some characters in this league. He's come to the game in the N1 bus. His family have packed into the N1 bus and driven to Sydney to watch their son play.
Wow.
Yeah, and I heard he brought his sticks too.
I just hope he found some parking in Sydney. It could be quite expensive for that bus.
Yeah, no kidding. But he's got a big family. I don't mean just in numbers. And I think he's got a sister that's about 6'8".
.7-point lead for the Aussies. Middle stages of this second period. Supercoach Brian Goorjian doing an excellent job so far. Cortez Groves has been busy for the World All-Stars, but on this occasion couldn't finish. Good pass from Redditch to Dave Thomas for the finishing touches.
I think Cortez Groves' jumper looks so much better than the first time he was here.
There's no question that's the best thing that's come back to his game.
Yes, McDonald wheeling and dealing. Pass deflected out of court. The Aussies will restart. 13 on the shot clock. Sam McKinnon with Redditch on the back pedal, losing control of the ball. The World All-Stars will get it. 10 turnovers for the Aussies, 11 for the World All-Stars at the moment. Dave Thomas kicks it out to where Groves is lurking, couldn't finish it. Scott McGregor in the unfamiliar number 15 pulls down the rebound, and now Anstey working back door. McDonald couldn't find him with the alley-oop play. The World All-Stars give it back to the Aussies.
You know how shooters don't miss by much? His passes don't miss by much.
It's always the passer's fault. I'm sure I've heard that said by a coach before.
Anstey looking for McGregor. It's cut out by Dave Thomas, who has Helms, and Cortez Groves. It's a block! The alley-oop finish from Cortez Groves. Cortez Groves leads the World All-Stars with 11 points. CJ Britton measures the 3 up the front of the rim. And Redditch with the rebound and off and running. Stand by, Sean Redditch to Groves, who beats Bobby Brannan in a confined space for the finish. 21-point buffer is extended to 23 by Scott McGregor. Timeout called by Phil Smythe and Andrew Gaze. The world team trailing by 23. A little over 4 minutes left here in the first half. Brian Goorjian said he'd never heard of Scott McGregor early in the season when Scott McGregor inadvertently called the Sydney Kings wankers. Maybe they're getting to know one another now, James.
I wonder whether that comment has single-handedly got Scotty McGregor, apart from he's playing great basketball, but the Sydney public have warmed to him. It's amazing. Since then, they loved him saying that. And I think they jumped on board and voted for him for this All-Star game for that exact reason.
Well, you know, everybody hates Sydney.
Really good for us. You 3 guys, anytime you want to, just step out and set an on-ball screen. So start down in the low post. You can look to flash and catch and shoot on that too. So can you look to flash out of that, catch and shoot. So you're carrying the ball down here. These 2 guys swinging off. This is you. This guy. go. Score. Okay. Okay, guys. 2-3 zones, pretty good. See if we can pick that up. Let's get them talking a bit on D. Here we go. I don't think you'll understand it, but give it a try.
International vocabulary there for Lou Way, setting a play for him. Now, James, when we see this in a regular NBL game, how many of the players are taking any notice of that? I've seen them looking at the cheerleaders.
Yeah, and I think this won't be any different, but I know just having been away in Europe, playing in Israel, it must be so hard for a coach to sound intelligent. Do you think that maybe Lou Way was looking at Phil Smythe and thinking, who is this guy? You know, it's so hard to communicate. It must be terrible without a translator or someone that can help him out.
I think when you're the gun player, it's pretty much loosely translated. It's pretty much like get it to him and get out of the way.
Dave Barlow, one of the Sydney Kings young guns, who's fired up this year in the running for most improved player in the NBL.
Well, he has improved out of sight. He was just at the end of the bench. You know, he's long and athletic, but, you know, they put him in just to, you know, maybe run around and try and get the tempo going. Man, they go to him.
I heard him and Neil Mottram almost set world records with their skin folds too at the latest Boomers camp. They're very fit boys. He's always in great shape too, and I think that's helped him.
I've done a skin fold test between the two of them to get a register. Here's Sam McKinnon working on Groves, dishing around for Anstey, who was at fault there for the turnover. Apologises to his former teammate. Lou Way coast to coast unsuccessfully. Now McGregor. Off to Sam McKinnon, who kicks it to CJ Bruton. Firing the triple, a little off the money. Dave Thomas off and running. Grabbed the rebound behind the back to Lou Way, who off the window was fouled by Jason Smith, who was actually trying to pick him up and help him upstairs for a dunk. Brian Corgin's joined us at the moment, and to be closing in on halftime in front by 23, that's a regular week for you, Brian.
Well, I haven't won an All-Star game. I've been involved in the women's side for a while, so I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. But we were doing really well till Phil went to the zone. I'm ready to go to the officials and find out if that's legal or not in a game like this.
I thought it was banned.
Yeah, all of a sudden he went to a 2-3 and we carved about 10 points off the lead. So yeah, we're you know, we've been running and the boys have been shooting the ball well, and hopefully we can continue the performance.
1993 was the last time that you won an All-Star game as a coach. Oh! Sam McKinnon throws it down with authority. So you haven't won for a while, and that's working on you a bit, is it?
Yeah, I'm excited about the prospects, but this team has shooters, and this thing can change real quick. So, oh, there we go. So we want to finish this half off good. We've been running, and again, boy, that was again. We want to finish the quarter off well, and hopefully keep this. I think the Anstey Bradkey combination was good for us as well for the second half. This is starting to get a little bit sloppy, so again, we need to finish this quarter off better.
Well, the player that just threw the ball away there, he's wearing number 15. Has the W word been mentioned at all between yourself and the guy you hadn't heard of earlier in the season, and now he's playing under you?
That's Scott McGregor, by the way.
It's amazing again how well you get along with guys when you're on the same team. It's a totally different thing. They're always the enemy, but you know, when you get guys transferring into your club in the NBL or a game like this, everybody gets along when you're on the same team.
All right, Brian, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Brian Corgin, coach of the Aussie All-Stars, who lead by 23 at the moment and are coasting. 4 on the shot clock as CJ Bruton fills it up again. 3 of 5 from long range. Margin back to 26.
He told Dave Thomas about that one too.
He's
I think
jaw-jacking.
Could be a preview of the grand final.
Willie Farley couldn't finish it off. Dave Thomas climbs over the back of CJ Bruton. Grabs the rebound. 90 seconds to play until half-time. And Dave Thomas does get to the rim and adds the 2 for the World All-Stars. Jason Smith finds McGregor in the corner. He goes to Anstey. And was looking inside for Jason Smith, but Willie Farley cut off the pass. That's Lou Way in support. Tried to work it to Mike Helms and got it to Bruton, and now Anstey. But the finish.
Boy, I'm sure coaches are getting a little nervous when Jason Smith's pulling that move off.
Here's Farley working to Bobby Brannan, who takes on Anstey. Came on second best, but got the job done. Bobby Brannan, who was a late call-up for the All-Star game. The athleticism of Dave Thomas there, deflecting the ball away from Jason Smith as Lou Way pins off CJ Bruton. Goes to Mike Helms, who fires unsuccessfully from long range. Heading toward half-time, here's Jason Smith. Couldn't finish it off, but Bruton is there with the rebound for the Aussie All-Stars. McGregor left alone measures the three. That's off the back of the rim, and Mike Helms with the rebound. The World All-Stars come back up the floor. Helms takes on McGregor and earns a trip to the free throw line.
We can score, no doubt about that. Mike Helms. Undersized as far as height is concerned, but very strong, able to turn the corner. He's had a few dunks in the half-court situation this year, too, for the Pirates.
And Mike Helms turns 23 on Thursday. He's the youngest import in the National Basketball League. And on Fox Sports, we saw him unload 42 in Townsville, the third highest individual score in the NBL this season. So less than 10 seconds for the Aussies to get something happening here before half-time. They lead by 22. And Chris Anstey from close range couldn't get it above the rim. Here's Helms from halfway on the buzzer. That wouldn't work either. And at the major break here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre, the Velocity All-Star Game is led by the Aussies. It's Australia 72 leading the world 50 here on Fox Sports. 28 points to 27 in that period in favour of the Aussies. Extend a 21-point quarter-time lead out to 22. And we'll try and get to James Harvey, who's standing by with Jason Smith.
Jason, what a fantastic start to the game for yourself. I mean, how good does it feel to come out in an All-Star game and just knock down every shot? I don't even know if you've missed from the field yet.
Yeah, well, a lot of layups involved in that, but not a whole lot of defence being played. But no, it's good to run up and down. When you run with D-Mac on the floor, you know you're going to get service, so it's a bit of fun.
How does a guy like yourself and Gorge go into a game like this? You know, you're renowned for hard-nosed defence and being super competitive. And I know Gorge is still pacing the sidelines a little bit. But how do you approach a game like this? You obviously want to impress, but at the same time, not been taking it too seriously.
Yeah, we know what the atmosphere is all about. We know what the fans want to see, so it's all about just trying to have some fun. And you know, you compete, you don't want to make it too easy, but you know, the fans are coming here to see a good game, so hopefully the calibre of players can bring that out.
And just on the NBL, how are you feeling that you guys are placed? Obviously placed beautifully, but the form so far, you went down the other night to Melbourne, but you must be pretty happy with the way everything's going and ready to roll.
Yeah, we got 15 straight and then we lost to Melbourne down there, and they played really well to get us. So, you know, if we can continue to progress as the season goes on and hit our form going into the playoffs, we'll be sitting all right.
No problems. Thanks, Jace. Good luck in the second half, mate. Joined with me now is also Cortez.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Tonight, what happened in the dunk comp, first of all?
I don't know, man.
My money was on you.
Sorry about that, man. I was a bit stiff, but yeah, some good dunkers in the dunk comp. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. So.
I said to Jace, how do you approach a game like this? I know you're super competitive and a guy that wants to put on a show for the fans, but at the same time, you know, you want to help the team get the win. And at the moment, 22 points down. What can we change in the second half?
It's a different kind of All-Star game that I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more flash and excitement, but you know, we just got to pick it up, stop the transition baskets, and just have some fun.
All right, man. We'll put on a show for us in the second half. Take care. Join us right after the break, live here on Fox for the NBL All-Star Game coming up next.
Some of the high-flying action already displayed here at the Velocity All-Star Game, brought to you by Virgin Blue. There is Deborah George through to the All-Star Dunk Final for the second straight year. But he has got a tough opponent in the 19-year-old Kiwi Everard Bartlett, who's a development player with the New Zealand Breakers, and on what we've seen in the preliminary rounds, Bartlett was the highest scorer. One dunk, collected 2 10s from the judges, a 9 and a 9.5 for a 38.5 was his best dunk. That was the first one he produced, throwing the ball between the legs and then finishing with the left hand. And Deborah George, his highest scoring dunk was his last dunk, where he took the pass off the head of Dave Thomas and dunked it with one hand, which drew 36.5 from our judges. Andrew Gaze, Shane Hill, Hall of Famer Damien Keogh, and Murray Dunstan, who won the competition that was conducted on NBL Rap. For his efforts is now the All-Star judges. Well, we have a great competition on NBL Rap at the moment as well, where you have to pick the same top 5 in the league as Steve Carfino. Who is the best player in the league, James Harvey? Who's going to be number 1 on Steve's list?
Very tough to say, but I think at the moment the way they're playing, either Chris Anstey or CJ Bruton, I think would be the 2 best players in the competition, considering how their teams are going at the moment. I think that's how you gauge the greatness of a player, and that's you look at Andrew Gaze and Shane Hill sitting over there. You know, they won championships and made their teams great, and so I think those 2 are the front runners at the moment to be on Steve's top list.
Yeah, that's a very astute work from James Harvey there. I think he could be right. Look, Everard Bartlett's working over the judges now. Did we see money change hands there at all? No, maybe no money. He may not need any more support at the moment, because this teenager, who I'm sure is well known to our viewers in New Zealand, well, he's a one-man highlight reel himself. He'll be up against Deborah George. Everard Bartlett certainly was the most consistent of the dunkers in the first round. Roland Roberts finished off 2 dunks before injuring himself. Cortez Groves only managed to finish 1 of his 3 dunks. Sam McKibben only managed to finish 1 of his 3 dunks. Well, Everard Bartlett got through 3 of them. His lowest score was 3 9s and a 9.5, and that's his low score. Larry Abney, he managed 3 dunks as well, with a best of 33.5 for a single dunk and 1 9 from the judges. And then Deborah George, as we said, his best dunk at 36.5. So Deborah George against Everard Bartlett. Take it away, Steve.
Those are our dunkers in the final. Of course, Deborah George and Everard Bartlett is going to go in the grand final here. These 2 dunkers going at it. They will both have 3 dunks, and they are going for, can you swing this right over here? That 26-inch LCD screen there from Phillips. All right, gentlemen, are you ready for your dunks? First up, Deborah George.
Well, Deborah George to go first. We saw in the preliminary rounds the dunker who goes first sometimes is at a disadvantage. Judges don't want to score too high, not knowing what else is coming behind it. I thought that did affect Roland Roberts, but here's Deborah George. Trying to get the lob pass right. 3 dunks per player. Deborah George, so close. Just catching the front of the rim there. Trying with the reverse finish. Just 180 centimeters from the Cairns Taipans. Deborah George upstairs, just couldn't get enough on it.
All right, put your hands together for Deborah George. All right, trying to work through the stiffness. Everard Bartlett from New Zealand.
Well, it's been a lean season for the Breakers under rookie coach Andre Lamanis. Let's see if Everard Bartlett can do something for them here in the slam dunk competition. The Breakers 5 and 17, 10th on the NBL ladder at the moment. Here's Everard Bartlett, looking good, and throwing it down to the delight of the fans.
Wow, that is impressive. And some power, the finesse and then the power, that was awesome.
Nice finish there from Everard Bartlett. Get another look at it. And we'll get some scores from the judges after Deborah George unable to get a score with his first dunk. Let's go to Steve.
As you can see, quite a handy dunk from our judges. Andrew Gaze with a 9, Shane Hill a 9, Damien Keogh with a 10, and Murray with a 9. Pretty handy. Devin George has got one more dunk from the Kansas Taipans.
Devin George, after missing with his first dunk, it does have a 36.5 out of 40 in the preliminary rounds as CJ Bruton and Terry Vaux come out here as part of the action. Going into
yep, like that. Just like that. Just like that. Try that again.
Terry Vaux over the head.
This will bring the house down.
Devin George will try and get the alley-oop finish. Just couldn't get it to tumble. Nothing wrong with the pass. Here's Devin George trying his luck again. Oh, did he stay in the air so low? Hang time from Devin George and the one-handed finish.
I was shaking my head. I thought that pass was way too high.
Well, they set Devin George a task. He was equal to it. How did the judges go with that, Steve?
All right, excellent. Excellent pass by Terry and a great finish by Devin George. Let's see what our judges have to say. Andrew Gaze with a 9, Shane Hill with a 9, Damian Keel with another 10, and Murray with a 9.5. Next dunk, Everard Bartlett from the New Zealand Breakers.
With a very worried-looking accomplice. What is Everard Bartlett going to produce here? The second of 3 dunks. Led the competition in the preliminary rounds. Here's Everard Bartlett charging to the hoop. And the man was a little nervous throwing the pass. This 19-year-old has certainly got some athleticism. Everard Bartlett. This time, off the back of the rim. Couldn't finish it off. So both have missed one dunk. Everard Bartlett's going to get one more crack at this dunk here. Jumping over the passer to finish it off. Oh, that looked like a winner.
I'm glad I wasn't on that seat.
Jumping over the passer and finishing it in style with the left hand, controlling the ball. How did the judges like that, Steve?
And I've just been informed the best 2 scores out of these 3 dunks will win the grand final. Let's hear what the judges have to say. Andrew Gaze picks his number 10. Shane Hill with 10. Damian Keel with 10. And Murray Dunstan with a 10. A perfect 10 for Everard Bartlett. Fantastic. All right. 3rd dunk, Devin George.
Last chance for Devin George. He needs a perfect score of 40 to take the lead here, and then it will come down to Everard Bartlett's last dunk. But there's a man not even on the floor who's going to make the pass. Devin George getting a feel for this. Some pressure on him, knowing that he needs a perfect score to take the lead. He's not getting enough air on the pass at the moment. This looks a little better. Here comes Devin George. Just couldn't control it with the right hand. We'll give him another crack at it. Devin George, just 180 centimetres. Looking for a perfect pass here to get this finish happening. Moves a little closer. Oh, with the right hand, just couldn't get it to tumble. Let's see if Devin George, who made the final last year, can come up with a big finish. And that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad from Devin George.
He was smart too. He put the pressure on the passer. If it didn't work out, it wasn't his fault.
Devin George with his third and last dunk. Andrew Gaze with an 8. Shane Hill with an 8. Damian Gill with a 9. And Murray Dustin with a 9.
34 is the score for that dunk from Devin George. 37.5, his highest scoring dunk.
Mr. Bartlett with his third and last dunk.
Coming off 4 perfect 10s. What does Everard Bartlett have for the fans now to put the icing on the cake? Everard Bartlett, the left-hander, goes between the legs, just didn't get the rhythm he was after. Composing himself for a big finish here. Here's Everard Bartlett going to work between the legs, snaps it upstairs, and the flush at the end.
It's over. It's over. That's your slam dunk champ.
Everard Bartlett gets the fans on their feet here. Some exciting work from the Kiwi junior. Larry Abney's giving him 100. Well, there was big raps on Everard Bartlett coming into this competition. Everyone in New Zealand was suggesting he was the man to beat. Let's get a look at this in replay. Snatching the ball between his legs while elevated and throwing it down. Don't do that at home. All right, Steve, he looks like a winner to us.
No good, Gaze. Let's see those scores. 10, Andrew Gaze, Shane Hill with a 10, Damian Keel with a 10, and Murray Dunston with a 10. Another perfect 10 for our new slam dunk champion, Everard Bartlett.
Well, deserving champion as well, Everard Bartlett. Had 6 dunks in the competition. 5 of them drew at least 1 10, and his lowest scoring dunk was 3 9s and a 9.5. So the judges were certainly impressed by the teenager, James.
That was unbelievable. I mean, these 2 young fellas, they don't get to play many minutes, but they know this is their showtime, and they certainly put on a show. They were both fantastic, but the winner was unbelievable tonight. They're some of the best dunks I think we've seen in years.
Well, Harry Van Dyke, the CEO of Phillips, who was such a great supporter of the National Basketball League, is on hand with Steve for the presentation.
That's right, Case. The Phillips Slam Dunk competition. What a great event. You had to be happy with how the event went.
Steve, I only wish I could get out of bed that way. That was a fantastic effort, and what a great event to see those guys leaping so high. Fantastic.
Okay, and a great prize here, 26-inch Phillips LCD, a great prize.
Yeah, this is top of the range, LCD television, and the latest on the market. A great set for these boys to watch the replays.
All right, Harry Van Dyke, the CEO of Phillips. I guess I should let you congratulate our winner. What a fantastic round. Young guys trying to make a name for themselves. I think he just did that. Great dunking.
Congratulations, guys. Well done. Really well done. And congratulations on winning your LCD telly from Phillips.
Well, you said you were a little nervous, Everard. You said you were a little nervous, but obviously after you threw a couple of dunks down, the butterflies were gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was all about that first dunk, and once I got that, I mean, you know, they went, so.
Well, Devin George, he was here in his second dunk competition. You had Sam McKinnon, Cortez Groves, some high flyers here with some big names. Obviously, you weren't intimidated by it, and congratulations on a fantastic show that you put on for the Sydney public and the rest of the nation on Fox Sports.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot. Go there and reap your rewards. Congratulations.
Everard Bartlett, who now is the proud owner of a great Phillips TV, courtesy of Harry Van Dyke. And the All-Star Game, well, other World All-Stars going to come back. The Aussies lead by 22. We'll have more for you right after this. Welcome back to the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Halftime here in the Velocity All-Star Game, powered by Virgin Blue. Trust you are enjoying it. Hard not to get excited by the dunk competition there in Everard Bartlett. Let's hope he gets into the New Zealand Breakers team for next season, Steve. We could do a little more of that in the game.
That's right. I mean, every ball player wants to see when a guy can dunk like that, what kind of game he's got. They're spending a lot of time in the backyard throwing dunks down. You want to see whether he's been working on his jumper and his handle.
I think now we've had Brett Rainbow win too, 3 or 4 in a row. He was an unbelievable dunker, so it'll be interesting to see if this young fella now can get out there and dunk on a few people in the NBL.
Well, there's no doubt the best dunk I ever saw. Vince Carter playing for the United States in the semi-final of the Olympics against the team from France. Frederic Weiss, 214 centimetres between him and the basket, straight over the top.
Yeah, he had a little game to back it up too, didn't he?
Just a little bit of game.
There've been some great dunkers through the years. The good doctor, Julius Erving, Michael Jordan, Dominic Wilkins, Spud Webb, for a small man, had all the tricks. Daryl Dawkins, he was smashing backboards like they were going out of fashion.
And to me, the best game dunker is a guy that can get dunks in a half-court situation. Those are probably the most fun to watch. Breakaways are great, you can get creative, but when you're throwing them down in traffic,
that's why Michael Jordan was so good.
Dusty Riker gets scoring underway for the World All-Stars in the red. And now the Aussies in the gold and green. And Saville fires over Redditch and fills it up.
Well, that is a no-nonsense crossover, but man, he just picks up some ground on that thing.
Reichart from close range, couldn't finish it off. Dave Thomas comes down. To be in a little bit of pain as well. The pass from Groves battered down by a forest of arms. Here's D-Mac making a late entry for the dunk competition. Maybe not a 10.
He likes to catch you sleeping. He likes to just throw those up, and then he'll turn the corner in a game and throw one down on you.
Sean Redditch has got the green light here at the moment. He goes back to work. Now Bradke, who starts the second half after a stellar first half, working against Reichart. Skip pass for Catalini, and he knocks down the three.
He had a little look back at the bench then, and maybe Phil Smythe, the ex-coach.
Here's Reichart from close range, adding another 2 for the World All-Stars. Bradke, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists so far. Catalini couldn't handle the pass initially. Now he's got some problems. Unable to make a tough shot tumble, and Reichart grabs the rebound for the World All-Stars. Groves, their leading scorer, who has 11 in the match so far, gives it up to Dave Thomas, who catches to the front of the rim. And Darryl McDonald dropped the ball deliberately just so he could tease Larry Abney and go and get it back. Now eventually he has coughed it up, not on the same wavelength with Martin Catalini. Here's Redditch jumping upstairs for the dunk.
Redditch is relentless. He never changes his expression, whether he's having a good game or a bad game, and he's constantly moving. You know, and I always like that in a guy. You know, if he's having a poor game, he doesn't put his head down. He's running the floor. He's trying to make plays.
Dusty Reikart's the same.
Here's Abney from close range, couldn't finish it, nor did Redditch. And Australia with an opportunity to build on a 21-point lead. Catalini to Bradke, who from close range throws up a tough one, gets his own rebound. Where are the teammates, he says. Finally, Catalini gets it out to Glenn Saville. Anstey and McDonald are queuing up outside the perimeter. And D-Mac goes to work, but in traffic has lost it to his Melbourne Tigers teammate, Dave Thomas. Groves firing over Anstey, caught the front of the rim. And the Aussies will get the ball.
How many times has Anstey done that to people? It seems to be on the baseline, too. They look as if they're open. They start to deliver their shot, and he goes and gets a piece of it.
And Cortez put something extra on it, too, I think.
Then Saville. Now Catalini. This time unsuccessfully. Appeared to be a little more energy with the Aussie team in terms of getting the rebound as McDonald adds the 2.
See what I mean? He He just kind of lays him up, and then he'll just catch it napping when he catches you in traffic.
I wonder if he still dunks on his sons when he plays one-on-one with them.
Absolutely. He's hard on them.
Dave Thomas working in the baseline. It's the Melbourne Tigers show at the moment. It's McDonald, and then Thomas, and now Anstey for the Tigers triple. Couldn't get it to go, but Glenn Saville can. Works it to Catalini for the finishing touches. He had 12 in the game. Only Jason Smith with 16 has more.
What were you saying about dunkers in the half court?
Oh, man. No kidding.
Bradkey setting Anstey a task. Abney stripped him of it. Now gets Redditch off and running. Numbers up the floor for the World All-Stars. And Abney double pumps the reverse. And the Birdman is flying here in Sydney.
Yeah, you better start flapping those wings and get back on D.
In traffic, Glenn Savile's got some problems. Dusty Riker scoops up the loose ball. World All-Stars making their move here in term number 3. Although the pass of Redditch cut out by Darryl McDonald. He is relentless. And Bradkey off and running from close range, couldn't finish it.
Bradkey, the point guard.
I'll have to check D-Mac's stats real quick on how many steals he has. He's got 4, but he's got about 10 deflections.
Groves with the excellent finish there. As Dave Thomas powers down low to add another 2. So a 6-0 run from the World All-Stars. And it may be expanded here as they start to eat into this lead. Redditch lost control of it, gets it back. Groves ready to fire, couldn't finish it, and Anstey puts a stop to it. Now Catalini upstairs for Glenn Saville. Bradkey joining in and adding the 2. Bradkey's into double figures. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists now for the big man. 19 the margin. Larry Abney under pressure from Catalini. Has coughed it up. But Abney's been exciting here. Shows us his hops here.
Just looking at some of the substitutions, C.J. Bruton comes into the game and Catalini sits down. You know, the Australians did that in the first quarter when they put Jason Smith in, came off the bench.
He was MVP of the first half.
Here's Bradkey muckling his way in closer against Riker. Groves stole it from Chris Anstey. Had the pass intended for Mike Helms, battered down. Now Willie Farley goes to the Brisbane's Bullets, Bobby Brannan, who can't finish off the front of the rim. And the Aussies look to build on their lead. It's 19 at the moment. McDonald running out of room, goes to Glenn Saville. Glenn Saville has played in the last 3 All-Star games prior to this one and won all of them. Margin back to 22 as Groves gets it back from Rijkaard and automatically pulls the trigger and adds another 2. 20 the margin as Anstey thought about the 3, gives it up to McDonald. Now Glenn Saville. Is this a structured offense from the Aussies here? 8 on the shot clock. Bradkey to Bruton, who fires over Groves. It's nothing but the bottom of the net. 6 Aussie players now in double figures here in the Velocity All-Star game, powered by Virgin Blue. Down low, Mike Helms shows him some tricks, couldn't finish it from close range. Saville, quick outlet pass. The Melbourne Tigers combine here. Anstey back to Darryl McDonald, who casually measures the 3 and gets the job done.
But he gets his feet set, he does not miss.
Yeah, which would explain why he's 6 for 6 in the field.
Bobby Brannan not shy here tonight either, can't finish it. Bruton with Bradkey, McDonald and Saville charging up the floor. Ambitious work from Glenn Saville, but we don't want to discourage it.
Mike Bradkey's in everything at the moment. He's on track for a triple-double. I think you said it earlier, Case. He's going to have a triple-double.
As has 10 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists. Timeout called with 4:23 left on the clock in the third term. The Aussies led by 22 coming into this period. The margin now is out to 25. It's been as big as 27 in term number 2.
Hey, Shane, the third option. Let's do the third option and let's reverse that ball to Sam. All right? So now we're coming down like this and we're reversing the ball. Just hold that cut. And Sam, look to pull through that 4-man. Who's the 4 here? Sab, you go 4. You fill in behind, and Mac, you can come off either screen if you don't throw it out either screen. If he doesn't go, cut and set the double away for Jay and play. All right? So Sab, you're in the 4. Reverse that ball to Mac. CJ, hold your cut. Look to go one-on-one, fill behind. If you don't have that, CJ, get through, double away. Hey, we got a nice little break here. Let's finish this. Here we go.
You think everybody's listening to him? they're up by a lot. It's an all-star game, and he's hammering, you know. But I guess if you have aspirations to represent Australia, you better be listening to him.
Brian hasn't won an all-star game since 1993.
Maybe you should step aside for the rest of the game. Let Hammer take over. See what Hammer's got.
Here's Willie Farley, who's got plenty of tricks, including the user-friendly roll for Willie Farley.
Shane's pretty intense too. God, don't let those guys stand at the pub and start talking about, their philosophies on how you should attack the zone. An hour and a half later, you might not get a word in.
CJ Bruton looking for the three-pointer. Jason Smith, the offensive rebound. And out with another opportunity as he fires from the baseline and knocks down the triple. 3 of 5 from deep. Jason Smith now with 19 in the game to lead all scorers.
What were the chances of him missing that?
None, the way he's been shooting it tonight. This is the guy they need to get rolling, I think, if they're going to get back. Either Willie Farley or Mike Helms.
Yeah, he's fun to watch too. He'll turn the corner on you.
McKinnon gets it from Glenn Saville, CJ Bruton and Jason Smith. Now there's 4 players who could start for Australia at the Commonwealth Games in March, and Saville is there to clean it up. 3 minutes to play, term number 3. 25 points the difference as Abney fires unsuccessfully. CJ Bruton off and running for the Aussie All-Stars. Finding Anstey close to the hoop, and he comes up with the flush.
Boy, CJ will get that thing out and motor on the fast break, made or miss.
Any sniff the world team had, I think, could have been snuffed out.
27 the margin, equals the biggest we've seen in the game. 2.5 minutes to play here in the third period. McKinnon behind the back to CJ Bruton, who catches the 3 a little deep. Saville works hard with the offensive rebound, tapping it to the advantage of Bruton. Now Anstey knocks down the 3, and they lead by 30.
Chris Anstey, personal tally 14.
Mike Helms gets inside Saville and marches into the paint for the finish.
Mike Helms, 12 points so far.
Brother's sporting some ink too, isn't he? He is inked up.
Minus the throw now too.
Sam McKinnon fires unsuccessfully. Farley with the rebound. Up the floor, going coast to coast, and Willie Farley unable to finish it off as Scott McGregor checks back in for Australia. Only McGregor and McKinnon are yet to get into double figures for the Aussies. They're playing with only 9 because Brett Maher is suited up and on the bench, but it would appear we're not going to see him. Came in under injury cloud with a hamstring problem. And he's sitting next to Brian and Shane Hill at the moment. Not looking as though he's going to take part as CJ Bruton gets the layup and adds another 2. There's a long-faced Brett Maher, who's also missed the All-Star game in 2004 because of a back injury. Brannon can't hit the target. Bruton, no look pass for Jason Smith, who returns the compliment. Anstey lurking under the hoop and adds another 2.
Australia, All-Stars 107.
Good way, gets down low and comes up with the points as well.
On the last possession, I was about to say he's starting to look a little more comfortable in this game with the size and the speed. He's already adapted to it, and he just, you know, on that play right there, he didn't look out of control at all.
He looks smooth with the ball in his hands and quite quick and deceptively quick.
Mike Helms goes for the solo flush. Larry Abney was hoping for the off the backboard pass, but it never eventuated. McKinnon goes to Jason Smith. Works past Helms to Scott McGregor, who adds another 2. 6 in the match now for McGregor. And Farley against Jason Smith, showing him all sorts of tricks and filling it up from long range.
See, Jason wouldn't have liked that.
No, not at all. His blood will start pumping now. If it wasn't already, he's already got 20.
CJ Bruton knocks down his 4th 3 of the match. He's got more than anyone in this game. 16 in the game. As Helms looks to penetrate it on the buzzer, adds the 2. It will count on the buzzer. And CJ Bruton walks to Ray Hunt complaining. 3/4 time at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. It's 112-83, a 29-point lead for the Aussie All-Stars here in the Velocity All-Star Game, powered by Virgin Blue.
The guys obviously, you know, having some fun out there. We've seen some great individual moves in a game that hasn't been a nail-biter. But the guys doing some tricks, some great passing by D-Mac. Australian All-Stars look fantastic. World All-Stars have had their moments as well.
I think the assists too. The assists are, like you said, with D-Mac and even Bradkey, he's dropping 7 assists here tonight. So definitely the Australian players look like they've played together a little more and they understand each other's games and, you know, shooting the ball much better.
Fellas, we're back man to man, offensively. As soon as you can get a screen on someone, we'll take it and play off that. Or if you're open, we'll get a quick shot on that, okay? Got to loosen up a little bit offensively. We've got to play some D. Okay, here we go.
Big crowd in attendance from the Sydney Entertainment Centre. The 13th edition of the NBL's All-Star Game. Well supported by the fans. Andrew Gay's limbering up. The World All-Stars could do with his support at the moment. Hopefully we'll track down Drewy and have a chat with him during the final period to get his thoughts. I know he's doing a good job with the Melbourne Tigers D grade at the moment. And Shane Hill's going to try his luck from halfway as well. This is money.
He's a very good shooter from half court. Do not put $5 down in the pot.
I know he's a good shooter from one step inside half court. He shot them through his whole career.
No kid.
I think my hand was carried on a few of them too.
Well, he knocked down 10 consecutive threes. Pre-game here in a shoot-around with Terry Vaux and Brian Goorjian. They're 3 in the ball. He knocked down 10 without a miss in his civvies.
Rumour has it too that Hammerstill plays up on the Gold Coast and takes it very seriously up there too, doesn't he? Working the boys out.
Well, there's a bunch of guys that get up there and play, a bunch of NBL players, and Bobby Croker and Peter Hill and Shane Heel, and all those guys just hanging around the Gold Coast with a good life, play a little golf, play a little pickup basketball to stay in good shape. Apparently it's a whole lot of fun.
Big money on offer here for the fans who've been lucky enough to get a shot as well.
Final shot from David. David, where are you going? He's going the same big halfway shot. No, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Miller Entertainment.
It's certainly been an entertaining evening here at the Entertainment Centre in Sydney. The Sydney Kings 3 championship banners hang from the rafters here, and they currently hold down top spot in the NBL as well. 19 wins and 3 losses. Melbourne 19 wins and 5 losses, have won their last 6 games. And there is the shot of the 3 championship banners and the next home game banner, which tells us that on Friday night West Sydney are going to be here without James Harvey, or now in his new role as an assistant coach, in fact.
We're just battling away, trying to support Wacko as much as I can, and hopefully get us to win. It'll be a huge game for us if we could get that one.
That must be killing.
You're right, it's killing me.
This slamming Sam McKinnon jumping upstairs for the dunk and drawing a foul as well.
World number 42,
Late inclusion in the dunk competition. He bowed out early, Sam McKinnon.
Sam McKinnon.
You know, it's funny, Steve, when you're injured, you know, I look at these guys out there tonight and I think, wow, they're good. You know, when you sit out for a long time and you think, wow, you know, I hope I can get back out to that level and play it again. It's amazing. You always do, and you always get your body back to that point. But right now you think, wow, yeah, they're impressive.
Yeah, and you were flowing. And unfortunately, when you got injured, you know, you're leading the league in scoring, and you're hitting those like one-legged step backs. It was a shame to see you go out.
McKinnon gets another 2 and a deflection. For the World All-Stars will get it back here.
A little reluctant to blow the whistle there, weren't they? Sam McKinnon got clubbed across the head on that drive, and then Dave Thomas had his arm wrenched.
Cortez Groves takes them on. Jason Smith and McGregor included, but couldn't finish it. And the Aussies lead the charge here. They lead by 33. Jason Smith gets it back from Bruton, shares it with his Sydney Kings partner. A 2-man game, couldn't get the result though as Riker grabs the rebound. Now Farley gets it back from Groves, and he knocks down the 3-pointer.
Oh, he can rack up some numbers in a hurry too. And one thing about Willie though, it's like, you know, playing with a mouse. He beats you, lets you get back in it, beats you, lets you get back in it to beat you again.
Tries to embarrass you, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I get the feeling.
Cortez Groves picks up his first personal. It's the 4th team foul on the world team. The Aussies have committed 6, so just 10 fouls in the match so far as McKinnon shakes Dave Thomas, feeds Bradke, who adds another 2.
Which is talking about Willie Farley, which is the direct opposite of Brett Maher. You know, as soon as he senses you're off balance a little bit, bang, jumper, or he's going to the hole. Just so efficient.
Farley back to it for Cortez Groves with the alley-oop finish.
Brett Maher too, he's a proven winner too. Whenever they need a big play, like we said all year, he's been doing it. He wins MVPs in final series. You know, I'm sure every player in the league has the utmost respect for him as just being an out-and-out winner.
McKinnon to Bradke, who fires over Redditch, couldn't finish it. Dave Thomas snatches the rebound away from his opponents. And now looks for Riker. McGregor got a piece of it. Here come the Aussies again. CJ Bruton, who's been dangerous from long range, couldn't finish on that occasion. And Groves looking inside where Redditch is fouled by CJ Bruton. And Andrew Gase and Shane Hill, the respective assistant coaches, are with us at the moment. Drewy, you've got your hands full.
Well and truly full, thanks Gase. But no, it hasn't been a pleasant journey for us, but hopefully we can finish it in style.
Andrew, I don't know if you can see Shane from where you are, but he has quite a wide, broad smile and plenty of teeth coming through.
Yeah, well,
he's enjoying it.
Sometimes you got to take your knocks, you know. Copping a fairly nasty knock at the moment.
Oh, come on, Andrew, you're only 30 down.
Well, in a game like this, nothing is impossible, but I'd say that it's highly improbable.
Hey, Shane, you listening as well?
No, I'm sure Shane's been very humble in his victory.
Shane, tell us the truth. Are these guys auditioning for the Australian team because they've come out to hoop?
Yeah, they have, and running some plays and hitting their shots most importantly. Now, our defense hasn't been what you call all that fierce. But yeah, just one of those games. A few injury problems. It's all Roland's fault. Roland hurt his shoulder in one of the dunks that he did earlier. So unfortunately, he hasn't been able to play and lacked a bit of a big guy in the middle. And yeah, that's our excuse, and we're sticking to it.
Well, Andrew's got his hands full, but Shane Hill certainly enjoying it for the Aussie All-Stars at the moment. Are you with us at the moment, Shane?
Yeah, no, we're pretty happy. Geez, Sam McKinnon's making the threes, mate. It's time to celebrate.
Well, this has been a good night. You were 20 in front in the first quarter and have been holding them off ever since.
No, it's been a good effort from the fellas. They've played extremely well. We've got a little bit of a height advantage, but I think more than anything else, the guys have probably used the ball better together and made more passes. D-Mac probably set the tone in the first quarter with 6 assists, and everyone else has just followed.
And what about this assistant coaching role? Is it something you might go into a little more heavily in the future?
Yeah, maybe down the track. I've enjoyed the 15 months off that I've had from basketball, and it's been nice just to be involved in this, and especially with Gorge as well, and back here in Sydney. So, no, I'm not sure what will happen down the track, but I'm sure at some stage I will get back involved with basketball at a full-time level.
Well, we'd look forward to that. We've certainly enjoyed having your input on NBL Rap, and no doubt you've enjoyed the TV side of thing as well.
Yeah, no, good fun working with you guys, and yeah, I think I've got a couple more games in January while you're away, Case, looking after the tennis, so we'll jump in there and have a little bit of fun.
Oh, we'll look forward to that as Scotty McGregor launches a 3. Shane, before we let you go, can you just give us a little taste of what you might have for Andrew post-game? Are you working on any lines at the moment?
Well, I was just very, very disappointed. It actually brought a tear to my eye when I found out that Drewy was working for the American team, and very, very disappointed, and he will hear about it time and time again. But I was more interested in Willie Farley at halftime. We had a little dinner bet, and I can feel the hunger coming on. I think we'll be heading for a bit of seafood tonight.
Well done, congratulations. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Go on, you boys.
Shane Hill and Andrew Gaze there, the assistant coaches, 2 of the legends between them. They've played 17 All-Star games. We've got a little under 7 minutes left in this one. The Aussies by 29, but Larry Abney isn't done with just yet.
You don't want to be pessimistic, but what bet did Willie Farley make with Shane Hill?
At halftime, yeah. I've been racking my brain thinking the same thing as soon as it came out of Shane's mouth. What, that they wouldn't lose by 30, or they dip into that margin a little bit?
Well, Willie had 4 points at halftime. He has 11 at the moment. Maybe it was an individual thing, but let's listen in with Brian Gorge.
Fred, you two. Chris, you go middle pick and roll. Let's go little pick and roll. So, Chris, you can pick and pop. If you pick and pop, you're in a 2-man game with the wing guy, all right? If he rolls, Cat, you want to lift and look at the 3, or you're in a 2-man game. Mac, you got to get to the rim and kick. So instead of the sideline pick and roll, let's go middle pick and roll with Chris. Put Cat low. If Chris rolls down, you lift. If Chris spots, go opposite the ball, and we'll go 2-man game with you two. All right, so Chris, you can roll, all right, or you can pop, and you're in a 2-man game. Mac, you play off that middle pick and roll. So let's run. Wings go wide. Chris is looking to hit the ball. You're running low, and you read Chris. Chris is down, you're up. He pops, you stay down. Let's finish this off. Here we go. Have some fun.
Brian Gorgian telling the Aussie All-Stars to keep working hard here. 27 in front, 6.5 minutes to play. Daryl McDonald has been entertaining. 6 of 6 from the field, 13.7 assists. And Jason Smith exploded for 16 points in the first term off the bench. And they have been cruising ever since. Zansti looks back door where Glenn Saville was lurking. Pass cut out by Farley, who has Abney working hard. Kept it alive for Bobby Brandon, who adds 2 from close range. So both teams now across a century.
That's what I like to see in an All-Star game, where you got everybody on the floor has got great hands. See who comes up with those loose balls.
We need to get the message out to the Australian bench that Bradkey's only 3 assists away from a triple-double. Get him back on the floor.
Catalini comes up with a nice finish in a confined space. 27 the margin. As Lu Wei goes to work unsuccessfully. Sapple the rebound. Now Catalini pushes it up the floor to McGregor, who's the only player who's suited up or had court time here, who isn't in double figures for the Aussies, and he has 8 now. Farley at the other end. Talked out of the quick release there by Anstey. Can't finish off the jumper. Here's Brannan working hard. And off the front of the rim and the back, and Bobby Brannan adds the 2.
I guess we have to start talking MVP. Who is the MVP?
Close your eyes and point at the Australian team.
Anstey goes for the step back, off the front of the rim, onto the window, and it tumbles for the big man.
Yeah, good luck stop it. How do you stop that? You don't.
When you pick an MVP though now, do these minutes count, or are the crucial minutes of the game the important ones?
What, the first 2 minutes of the game?
Oh, the Melbourne Tigers come up with the play of the game as McDonald. Off the window to the trailing Anstey for the flush. That is All-Star at its best. Anstey rejecting Abney on a couple of occasions. 31-point lead for the Aussies. As Catalini goes back to Glenn Saville pulling the trigger on the 3.
D-Mac with the steal.
Now Glenn Saville in the corner. This time couldn't finish it. Gets another look via Martin Catalini, but gives it up to Chris Anstey. We move inside the last 4 minutes of play in the Velocity All-Star Game, and Anstey as it's stripped away by the combined resources of Helms and Brannan. And Lu Wei, the Chinese captain, adds the 2 off the window. And now Anstey going to work, drawing a foul. Chance at a 3-point play. And Chris Anstey's preparation arriving on the bus with his family. It may be starting to take its toll. He looks a little bit out of oxygen here, but not on this occasion.
He always looks like he's out of oxygen. He's kind of lopey and slumps down when he walks and runs, and then he just get a rebound, run the length of the floor, get a dunk, run it again, block a shot. He is very athletic.
35-point lead, biggest margin we've seen in the match. It's continued to grow. The Aussie All-Stars have been in control right from the start. The Chinese captain showing us some tricks as well. Oh, in the moment, it's McDonald taking them all on, and a nice layup from Daryl McDonald as well. 15 points, 9 assists, 6 steals for D-Mac. Groves has been impressive for the World All-Stars. Anstey gives him some treatment, but Groves stays with it. He has 19 to lead his team in scoring. Anstey with 23 is the game high scorer. He has 9 rebounds as well. As Groves goes upstairs for Abney, is rejected by Martin Catalini. McDonald kept it alive. The World All-Stars. Abney to find space, trying to manufacture something from the And One tour on that occasion. Now Helms with 5 on the shot clock. Goes in against the tall Tim, but couldn't finish it. Abney from close range does. Two and a half minutes to play. And the Aussies continue to pile on the points here. The record is 168 in an All-Star game. We saw 156 last year. We've got 143 at the moment, and more to come from Daryl McDonald. With a bit of showtime, the 41-year-old, the oldest man in the NBL, can still get upstairs.
Wow. You get the feeling he's got about 4 more gears, too. Man, that's what's amazing.
Anytime he lays it up on the break from now on, that's insulting.
He's got another chance here. Behind the back to himself, feeds Glenn Saville for the 2. And the Aussies with 147. Daryl McDonald with 10 assists. And Brannan shows us that he can get upstairs with the best of them.
Look at the Australian team. Cat with 16, McKinnon 17, Smith 19, Saville 19, Anstey 23, Bruton 16, McDonald 17, Bradkey 12.
Larry Abney going to work coast to coast. and throws down another duck. The Birdman from Townsville. His first season in the NBL makes the All-Star game, and the pass from Scotty McGregor just a little beyond Chris Anstey.
That's the only time it's not the passer's fault. It's when it's my captain.
This Mike Helms trying his luck, unable to finish it off. The fans want 150 from the Aussies. They've got 147 at the moment. And McGregor's invited to take another shot. Couldn't finish it. Fatigue starting to set in. Lu Wei from China is rejected by Darryl McDonald. Anstey gives it up for Catalini, whose party trick didn't get above the rim, but the fans have enjoyed it nonetheless. They start to join in here. The final 30 seconds of the Velocity All-Star game, powered by Furton Blue. Cortez Groves tries some showtime unsuccessfully. Now Catalini has McDonald in support. The alley-oop play, and T-Mac finishes in style. Now what can Mike Helms come up with? Looking for support. Larry Abney says, I'll get the job done. 8 points in the final period for Larry Abney. But the Aussie All-Stars have had this under control right from the get-go. And they are powering away to an impressive win. Martin Catalini puts an exclamation point on it. And the Birdman from Martin Catalini. And the Aussies win it in style. Full time. In the Velocity All-Star game. The Australians All-Stars have defeated the World All-Stars. In the final analysis, they win by 35 points. It's Australia 151, the World All-Stars 116 here on Fox. With no shortage of scoring action from the Australians. Points in the first term, had 40 in the third, 39 in the final. For the first time in 13 years. Man, along with his assistant coach Shane Hill.
They look like they've played together before, a lot of those boys, and with D-Mac leading the charge with 10 assists and playing great. Yeah, they were far too good tonight. We have to have a word with Scott McGregor, the only Aussie not to get into double figures. Yeah, maybe he's saving his best for the Kings on Friday night. I certainly hope so. Just warming up in this gym too. This is where we're coming back. Hopefully we can steal a win.
Well, the Aussie All-Stars, very impressive winners here. Doing an excellent job. 35-point win last year. The Aussies won by 16. And the 35-point victory is a record in All-Star history. Mark Bradke, what a star he was. 12 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. He's in the mix for All-Star voting for an MVP.
And he sat out the last 5 or 6 minutes also. He certainly would have had that triple-double the way he was passing the ball. I'd hate to be in anyone's shoes to pick this MVP.
It's going to be a tough one. The Australians dominating and with winners all over the floor. And let's see, who will it be as Steve gets a quick word with the winning coach.
Well, Brian, you're looking very serious over there, running some stuff, making sure everybody was focused, but you couldn't have been worried. You guys were just playing better basketball, shooting the basketball better.
I think this All-Star over the last 2 years since they brought it back shows the little importance of coaching. We've had the same two coaches the same 2 years, and we've swapped teams, and obviously it's an Aussie thing. They just know in this type of environment, this type of game, they just play with a style that's better to win. And I think tonight with Anstey and Bradkey and the spread of those perimeter guys and a little more intensity than the American All-Star team plays with, I thought that was the case last year. They've put up another 150 points. They've shot the ball well. They have a better understanding of how to play with each other, where with the Americans, the ball seems to stick in their hand a little bit too much, and they don't play the other end of the floor. So it was good to be on this side of the floor this year.
And I know that players enjoy playing with D-Mac. What's it like coaching him? You've coached him before. The guys obviously enjoy it very much.
A lot's been said about Chris Anstey, and deservedly so, how well they're doing. But man, I mean, Shane and I are sitting next to each other going, this is a man. This guy's almost 42 years old this year, and he could have again been possibly the best player on the floor. He just in the open court, he seems to have another gear. Nobody's got a set of hands like he does, and he's so fun to play with, and everybody loves him. You know, when you're on his side, you know he's going to make you better. You know he's going to find them, and again, he hasn't lost a thing since I was involved with him 5 years ago.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
As they're talking up Daryl McDonald, and why not? This is his 5th All-Star appearance, but his first ever win in an All-Star game. He was MVP of the 1996 All-Star game when he finished with 22 points, 10 rebounds and 15 assists, the only triple-double in All-Star history. And Steve standing by now with Jason Smith.
The captain of the Australian All-Stars, Jason Smith, coming off the bench, and you hit your first 7 shots. Obviously, you got something against the World All-Stars.
No, that's what I do, and no, it's all about having fun, and guys coming in trying to get their shots up, so I was no exception there.
Is it a privilege? I mean, do you really enjoy playing these? It looks like you guys are having a lot of fun out there.
It is. It's a fun time. You get to play against guys you only get to play against in a competitive nature, and to play with D-Mac and Brad Key and Sam McKinnon again. It's a lot of fun. So just try and go and have fun.
You play with C.J. Bruton, but I tell you what, D-Mac looks pretty good still too. Going to be 42 this year.
41 years old, alley-oop reversal, and then he gets Lou away on the block. So no, he's doing some amazing things for a 41-year-old.
Okay, I'm sure that everybody's going to say, oh, this is an all-star game. Nobody's taking it serious. But, how much are you going to give the world all-stars after this game tonight?
A lot, mate. We get those velocity points. We're going on a holiday. It's fun.
How about Andrew Gaze? He looks kind of dirty over there. He's the assistant coach. He doesn't look too happy.
Well, obviously not a whole lot of input came out of him today, but Shane Heal was the catalyst in our win. He was on the board doing the X's and O's, setting all the plays up for us, and got the win for us.
A great run, obviously put to rest by the Melbourne Tigers, Andrew Gaze's favorite team. He's a milestone player for them, of course, but good season for you guys. Great home run, undefeated here, looking to finish it out.
Yeah, and that's why I think we ran D-Mac a lot in the end there, trying to get his legs out, so when we come around to Melbourne again, he's a little tired, but we're pretty good at the moment. We're sitting on top of the table, and hopefully we can keep it rolling and freshen up a little bit come playoffs.
All right, looking forward to the playoffs. Jason Smith, everybody. He had a great game, but it wasn't good enough to be the most valuable player. The most valuable player of the game is Daryl McDonald. Outstanding game, 10 assists. I don't know how many points you had, but you were diming, you were hooping, you were blocking shots, you're doing the whole thing. Had a little fun out there, huh?
Yeah, that's what these games are about, having fun. Wasn't expecting to be such a bad blowout, but time of the year, like I said, a lot of guys come out just to have fun. We try to make it fun for the crowd, and game over now.
Well, James Harvey was helping us with the commentary tonight, and he said it is really a slap in the face when you lay the ball up on a one-on-none break now, when you can bounce it off the ground and throw it backwards on a reverse jam.
Like I said, I was just trying to get the crowd into it. That's all. Try to do something different, different than a dunk contest. But like I said, we just to make it fun, man. We got to make these are the games. You got to make fun.
Are you sore at all? I mean, everybody talks about your age. You're are you the oldest guy in the league? You're not going to answer that, but are you sore? Do you feel time catching up with you in any way? It sure doesn't look like it.
I have my days. I won't lie about that. I do have my days, but we got with the Tigers. Al gives us a good rest. So as long as we're ready to play in the games, and that's all he asks. So like I said, I'll take my rest when I can. This AllStar game actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting to be playing in it because we have 5 days off. We don't play again till next Friday when we play Brisbane. But like I said, I'll take as much rest as I can. Just be ready to play when the games come.
Not taking anything away from the other teams in the league, is there any team that you'd like to hammer in the finals more than the others?
All of them. It don't matter. We want to get to the finals and try and make some noise. No matter who we play. You know what I mean? This is gonna be tough no matter how you put it. You got Brisbane coming up. You got Wollongong. You got everybody. It's gonna be tough no matter who you play. You just want to win. That's the main thing.
All right. Thanks, D-Mac.
No problem.
Okay, let's present the trophy. Congratulations, D-Mac. Put your hands together for him, Sydney. Yeah, no kidding. Unbelievable. Well, the captain of the Australian team and the coach, Brian Goorjian, like to present you. Don't look at me, look at these lovely young ladies. Kira's going to hand you the trophy. Congratulations to the Australian team for winning the Velocity All-Star Game, powered by Virgin Championship Trophy.
Well, the Australians win by the biggest margin ever, 35 points in the All-Star Game, 156-115 is the final here, and Daryl McDonald grabs a piece of history as well, joining Derek Rucker and Andrew Gaze as the only multiple winner of the MVP award in an All-Star Game. And James Harvey, he wins the All-Star Game MVP 9 years after he first captured the trophy. He just keeps getting better.
He does, and some would argue that he's playing his best basketball. I know pre-game Brian Goorjian said that he was the key to tonight's game, and it turned out to be true. That's why they got the big win.
Daryl McDonald at 41, still doing very, very well in the NBL with the Melbourne Tigers. They're going to be hard to beat down the stretch here. A good race between them and the Kings at the moment for top spot.
Yeah, no question. I think the Kings are definitely still the team to beat, but having said that, some people might question whether they maybe have peaked too soon. Melbourne are just starting to hit their straps, and the way Daryl McDonald's playing and Chris Anstey's playing, they look very tough to beat right now. I think it's a two-horse race.
And let's hope that injury to Roland Roberts sustained in the All-Star dunk competition isn't serious and he'll be able to continue. But the Aussies have got the money. And Steve Carpino has joined myself and James Harvey here for what was a very entertaining match.
Yeah, it sure was. I'm a guard, so anytime the guards go out and play like D-Mac did right there, the most valuable player of this All-Star game, it's always a lot of fun to watch, especially a guy that likes to get everybody involved, not just with his scoring and his dunks, but his passing. Guys just light up when they're on D-Mac's team. They enjoy it because they know they're going to get the rock.
Well, let's tell you about what's upcoming on Fox Sports, because the basketball does not stop this festive season. We're in action again on Thursday with CJ Bruton, the Sydney Kings and Australian point guard. He will be with us in the studio from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to relive some of the All-Star highlights and tell us about the Kings and an update on Roland Roberts. That's Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. On Saturday, we head across the Tasman. The New Zealand Breakers entertain the Hunter Pirates. It's from Trust Stadium from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Hunter Pirates holding on to a top 8 spot at the moment. The New Zealand Breakers with back-to-back wins, and we're getting emails from their fans, Steve. You said they wouldn't win, and they've done it again.
Well, they're starting to make some shots, for goodness sake. They couldn't put the ball in the hoop, but they've got Brian Green. This guy has been a great player for them, and so that's why they're starting to be successful.
They won the dunk competition here with Everard Bartlett as well. Next Wednesday, the Fox Sports cameras journey north to Brisbane. The Bullets play host to the Sydney Kings, who have been involved in some great clashes in the playoffs in recent years. That's live from 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time from the Brisbane Convention Centre. The Bullets against the Sydney Kings, and a rejuvenated Mark Radke in action for the Brisbane Bullets after he was one of the stars of the show here in this match. Mark Radke looked like he could be dangerous with what's left of the season.
Yeah, it looks like he's just got a new lease on life, but he's done a great job of getting himself back into a lot of great highlights tonight too.
Well, here's some of the highlights from the All-Star Game. If you may have joined us a little late, the Aussies got off to a great start. They led by 21 21 at quarter time, 22 at the half, 29 with 1 to play, and a record 35-point haul. But certainly the fans got plenty of value for money, James.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the dunk comp was fantastic to warm us all up, and then, you know, the Australians came out on fire. Jason Smith certainly led the way with his shooting off the bench, and D-Mac again led the way with all the assists.
Well, we thoroughly enjoyed your company here for this game. Everyone out there in TV land wants to know, when is James Harvey going to be back on the floor doing his business?
I certainly hope to be back for the full pre-season next year. I'll miss the remainder of this season, and unfortunately anything to do with the Commonwealth Games. So hopefully I can get back in a part of that squad and the Boomer squad and later in the year. But so far so good. I'm getting there, healing slowly. Then it was good to be alongside you tonight.
Great to have you and another All-Star, Steve Carfino. How did that compare with 1988 when you were playing in the All-Star game?
It was a lot of fun to watch, but it's never as much fun as when you're playing. In '88, we had some good players out there. Leroy Logan shot the ball every single time he got it. Well, lucky for him, he made those shots, and he was the most valuable player. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that's about all time we have for here from the All-Star game, and it is a big win for the Aussies, a record margin of 35. We'll see you soon here on Fox Sports.
This has been a Fox Sports production.